if you can answer this or not. I just don't know without asking you. Are my questions? This is where I'm unclear, Your Honor. I'm not sure what exactly I'm supposed to be doing.
She was all over him all the time.
How much further
Send me money.
in regards to the
How can I send you money when I don't have a job?
Parenting plan. I had no idea that the relocation parenting plan is what I'm supposed to do. Your Honor. And I'm supposed to object to it.
His ex-wife, when I say a monster, she's a monster.
I do my best about relocation and what I'm doing. Forgive me, it's Exhibit D.
Like, completely berates me
about money,
about
I'm sorry,
Your Honor, forgive me, but I'm here on the phone trying to do all of
I
this.
ask you what to provide written closing arguments, no more than 5 pages.
No more than 5 pages? No more than 5 pages?
Welcome back. Today I was trying to avoid this video, honestly, because I was just hoping I can wait out Judge Jackson.
I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. Ooh, I am for real.
And we could get an order on this final family court hearing, and then I could just attach this to it, and it would be a fun little intro to laugh, and then we get the real decision, and it would be this.
Sometimes I'll start a sentence, and I don't even know where it's going. I just hope I find it along the way.
But we're still waiting. And to be upfront, it is not absurd to wait this long, especially considering a contentious and now viral case. I'm pretty sure family courts, especially involving children, don't normally encounter this much virality or spotlight, and she just wants to make sure the order is airtight, no appealable decisions, and just, I don't know, letting Sarah have it.
She's not a Christian! She's tampering in dark-sided stuff! Yes, she did! She is dark-sided too!
But anyway, today we are going to be covering another Sarah Catherine Boone Paulsen.
Excuse me.
Where is he? Where is my son? Where the fuck is he? He's escaping! The killer is
Eating my peach.
Help me!
Letter to the judge. This letter to the judge is Sarah throwing her good old besties under the bus.
What is this bus everybody keeps talking about?
Nothing.
Is the bus still running?
She is so mad impressed because in the first closing arguments video we went over, we talked about the missing pages that were a part of the original document, so it just did this weird harsh cut in the middle. And this is where we run into the missing pages, because remember, Judge Jackson,
Miss Jackson.
said that no more than 5 pages, and Sarah confirmed no more than 5 pages?
No more than 5 pages.
No more than 5 pages? No more than 5 pages?
As though she had just been shot in the heart right then and there. Did she listen? Of course not. So it was still uploaded online as 5 pages, but apparently Nicole, whoever this Nicole, I don't know who she is, via classified crime, I think I've seen a few of her videos here and there, did find these missing pages, and this is where they were supposed to go. So in the filing and the uploading on the court's website, these few pages are missing. However, they weren't included with the court, and Sarah could not let that go, so she needed you to know that these two illiterate,
chittering eating bitches, the girls that get it, and the girls that don't.
are trying to sabotage her and left out the most crucial, important 4th page. So she had to make sure that Judge Jackson knew that 1, we were missing a 4th page, 2, it wasn't my fault, and 3, side with me anyway. There's a lot of little annoyances to break down in all of this. Let's go ahead and take a look at this missing 4th page, which wasn't really missing because we already covered it, but she hand wrote it out just in case Judge Jackson didn't see it. And there may be some differences here and there, so we'll just read it through and see what happens. But before we get there, if you're new here, welcome to the world of long-form rant content, where there is no structure or gold. It is just me reacting to whatever I want to react to, and the video is finished when it is finished. I assert no authority or expertise on this channel. These are just my opinions. You take what you take, you leave what you leave. But if you leave a like on the way out. That's just good home training. Warning, I talk a lot, so if this is a video you want to play all the way through, this is not a video for you. And with all of that out of the way, let's dive right in.
Hold on, pause this shit. What the fuck is going on in here on this day?
Hello, me from the future. So, I started this video, hit this big, massive creators block, and then didn't touch it for like a month. Work got crazy, but now I'm back. So many things have happened since this dropped, and it's been insane, and I don't even know how to completely tackle it, so I'm going to kind of try to morph it into this video a little bit. But since I've started this video, we still don't have a judge's order, and now these phone calls, mysterious phone calls have dropped, and some emails have dropped, and just the drama is drama-ing right now. I might make a video covering the phone calls on their own separately, but a lot of the things that are covered on these released phone calls actually intersect with what I talk about in this video, so I might just cut in here and there and then add to that, and we're just going to see what happens. So just buckle up and be okay if things don't make sense linearly. We're just here for a good time, and now let's dive right in. Alrighty, Sarah K. Boone, pro se respondent, original tablet message and attachments sent via email October 2nd, 2025 by Nicole Ray, not the full government. For verification purposes, here is my handwritten message and copy along with the original page 4, which was removed without my permission from my closing arguments. Well, and straight out the gate, she wanted to set up, this is exactly who I'm blaming, Nicole Ray, full name, address, social security number. Actually, no, she's in Australia. Do Australians have social security numbers? I never thought of that before. What am I doing? But she unnecessarily had to tell you Nicole sent this on October 2nd, which, what is she referring to? Like, what she is sending now was sent on October 2nd, or is she saying her closing arguments? Because her closing arguments were supposed to be sent on September 2nd. Did she think she had until October 2nd? No, she didn't. It was very clearly explained to her. I guess she just waited until exactly a month later to call out the discrepancy, although it did take nearly a month for this to upload, so I don't know. This is just all a mess. You are putting her on blast, and you sent her this message in email form. How is this getting sent to you? I don't know. Wow, Sally the Siren has never popped off like that, so I hope wherever she's going, those people are okay. For people who don't know, I live at a very interesting intersection near a train station, a fire station, an airport, and people with the audacity. So you will sometimes hear my background ensemble in the SKR cinematic universe. They are always welcome, and they always have a message to say. And Sally had to say, why is this Nicole's fault? Miss Isis Lee J.A. and Honorable Judge LaShonda K. Jackson. My emergent attempt to contact you regarding my corrected closing arguments before your ruling, and in order to be done fairly, my friend is sending this screenshot on my behalf from my tablet. I wrote the message from DOC, and I am handwriting then mailing this message along with my missing page to be included for verification. In my extremely limited resources, this is my only option and hope to send this life-changing document. I had to forward my closing arguments to one resource, Australia, to type, and another, New York, to mail, expedite it to get to you on time. Why? That doesn't make any sense. Why did you have to mail your closing arguments to Australia and then mail them to New York? Who is Australia mailing it to New York, or is Australia mailing it back to you in Florida, and then you from Florida are mailing it back to New York or up to New York, and then New York is mailing that for you back to Florida to get it to Miss Jackson in time?
It was all a lie. Guys, it was all a lie. She lied.
What? That doesn't make any sense. Not even a little bit. That's right, Linda. No way you look at this does it make sense. You could have just handwritten them originally and mailed it to her down the street. How do you expect us to believe that mailing it to another continent country, which then that continent country mails it back to you or to New York, and then whoever's in New York mails that back to Florida? And who's typing who and who's mailing what? I don't understand. If you need New York person to mail it, why couldn't you have just gotten New York person to type it? Why? Okay, the only way it makes sense to me is if she sent Australia a text message to type this up, like she used the 30,000 character messages that she has on the tablet messages. Yay, it finally worked. Unfortunately, it costs money to message. 50 cents. But you get, I think, 30,000 characters to write. Of course you do. And of course you found out it's 30,000 characters after sending 1,500 agains and agains and agains. Not being a lying, malicious, unhappy, bad example to my son on how you think it's acceptable to treat me, his mother, and other woman. And yes, what you are doing is and has been proven mental and emotional abuse. It's recorded again and again and again and again, again and 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 oh my God. Whoa. Oh, she's proud of it. She's proud of figuring out that there's 30,000 characters in order to send her closing arguments. And then Australia may have emailed to New York, and then New York print and mailed it. But that just, it's not how she's describing it. And it's still just so many extra steps, but whatever. I mean, we know why, right? She could have handwritten the 5 pages and turned that in, but she wanted to fit as much as humanly possible, even if it went over the page limit that she knew she was subjected to. So she went the route she went because she always thinks her ideas are the best, and when it blows up in her face, she has to point the finger at everyone but her. Did Australia and New York tell you to do it this way? Odds are no. But you had them write it in the tiniest little font to fit all the ramblings you wanted in there, which still didn't help form a coherent argument at any point. But it was your plan, and you always have to go with your plan.
It's kind of, I thought it was the boy crying wolf kind of thing.
Okay.
And again, my plan was not to go upstairs and go to sleep. My plan was not to, he'll be up here any minute.
And
my plan wasn't also to leave him in the suitcase. Well, I thought by not zipping it up all the way, it would be okay. My plan was not to leave him in the suitcase.
What was your plan?
Waiting for him to come upstairs.
And then when he did it?
I fell asleep.
Also, how much money is this costing? Money and time to get it to another country, to get it to other states, expedite it. Obviously, you're asking for them to pay for it, but then couldn't you have just asked for the money to say, hi, I need to handwrite my stuff. Can you put in some money into my commissary so I can get some pencil, paper, pens, envelopes, stamps, what have you? That would have been infinitely easier, and you would have been able to get as much stuff as you wanted and still get it to Judge Jackson in time.
Miss Jackson, ooh, I am for real.
She didn't say it had to arrive on her office doorstep at that time. She said it needed to be postmarked and sent in the mail. And it makes more sense to see an address in Florida than to see an address from New York or Australia, what have you. It is so irrelevant to put this in here. It is only to try to blame someone else for not needlessly doing every little thing you wanted perfectly, and you have to make sure you air them out and get what you want out there. And what we learned about in these release phone calls is that she has that same method of attack against each other when the other one messes up. That's also a number one sign of a fake friend. When you're talking to them and they talk to you about all their other friends, that means they're talking to your other friends about you too. And here's the example. The two people helping you, you're going to call Peter and you're going to say, she messed all this up. I had to redo this section. This is in regards to the pretrial statement, not the closing arguments, but I imagine the same thing applies here as well.
Hello?
Hey.
Hi. Are you at home?
Well, I'm in my office. What's going on?
Oh, well, that's what I meant. Just I didn't know if you were in your car or not.
Yeah, I'm good.
So, like, super effed me up with stuff that she was helping me with in this, my statement. So, I'm not going to be able to get it to you until tomorrow. So, I just wanted to make sure you were aware, and you said it was okay. But I just wanted to give you a heads up.
Okay. I mean, I'm not able, tomorrow's Saturday, so.
Oh, I know. That's fine. Just, I got your message, and it said the 18th, which is today, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I wanted to make sure that I had the dates right because it said that it was okay if I sent it to you tomorrow, which is...
Yeah, you can...
Thank you. Totally effed me, dude. You don't understand. I know she's trying to be helpful, but I cannot describe it to you. Like, I've had to do an entire section, and I was like, look, if I have to call you so you can explain it to him because you're not going to be happy because a complete section has to come out and be re-added. I had to redo a whole section.
Okay.
Okay, well, I'm taking it to heart when you say, okay, it's the attorney's fees section. So, what's wrong, that has to come out.
She's mad that he's not as upset as she is, because I'm sure she gave Nicole an earful and saying, how could you mess up? Now Peter's going to have to do all this and you just ruined everything and this and that. And then she brings it to Peter and he's like, okay, people make mistakes. You mean I just have to sub in a section? Still a useless section, but it really isn't the end of the world. And she tries to make everything a world-ending thing. So I understand their hesitations of, he wants to just say, and in that call he said, you know what, I'm just going to wait and let you fix it and you tell me exactly what you want me to do.
Just send me the completed thing. And then once I get that, is it an easy fix? You want me just to do it now?
No, it's not an easy fix.
Okay.
It is. But, all you have to do is delete that section and then just re-add my section.
Okay. I don't want to fuck.
Don't do anything yet.
Okay. I'll let you, why don't you just you knock it out, send it to me. We have,
yes.
So let's just make sure it gets done right.
Thank you. You don't understand. I've been typing and crying at the same time just because of how mean these girls still are to me, and I just can't even begin to tell you.
Then don't. We'll probably touch on that a little later. And Nicole should have done the same exact thing, because now you have to face her wrath and she's going to try to make everyone see that you are the irrational one. How could you be so stupid, you
chittering eating bitches?
You can't even type up my lies properly? And now she wants to call it these life-changing documents. Why is it just full of insults then? Why is it full of petty little gripes and not actually a professional sounding closing arguments that actually try to pay respect to the court and respect to the entire process in general? Instead, it just says, this is unfair, he needs to pay me because someone else told him he's supposed to. Wham, blah, 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 $26,000, please.
Yes, I would like to make an opening statement, please. What do you mean by inferred, please? I would like, please, only if he decides to include me, please, from my pretrial statement, please. I would like to say, yes, I do, Your Honor.
All right.
Please.
All right, give me.
Okay, I'm going to start, please. Okay, one moment, please. Yes, please, if I could put a substitution in. Yes, please, if I make comments on that. Yes, please. I would like to ask, please, if I could please add, hold on one moment, please, I'm sorry. Please, if I may, before we hang up, the closing arguments are for parenting plan, alimony, attorney's fees, and...
I am not repeating myself, ma'am.
For whatever reason, and without my instruction or permission, the sender took it upon themselves to remove one of my pages to make for a certificate of service. I did not instruct or advise the sender, nor was this even created or included in my original closing arguments written by me. Please, Judge Jackson, understand the importance of this missing page containing my parenting plan section and the beginning of the attorney's fees section to complete my arguments properly. Please accept and understand my desperate attempts to be successful in this manner, especially and foremost with my son. I am grateful. Please accept my sincerest apologies. Respectfully submitted, Sarah Boone, pro se respondent, October 2nd, 2025. Well, it's not really respectfully submitted when you just drag the only person who's trying to help you in order to not claim any responsibility for it. For whatever reason, this person took it upon themselves to remove one of my pages to make room for a certificate of service. This was not included, nor was she instructed or advised to do so. So both sides are wrong, right? Sarah more so than Nicole. But the first part on Sarah's end is you need a certificate of service to file this. So Nicole's not in the wrong for adding that, because you need that for it to be submitted. You can't just submit free papers willy-nilly. However, Nicole misunderstood the assignment, literally. Judge Jackson said no more than 5 pages. Normally, that doesn't include the certificate of service. Normally, that's no more than 5 pages of content, and then you add the certificate of service. But I understand Nicole's hesitations of she doesn't want this getting taken away or rejected because it's time sensitive and you have this screaming banshee who will haunt you in your nightmares forever if you mess anything up. So she got rid of what she thought was useless. The rest of the world also agrees. This parenting plan, whatever you want to call it, and her first half of her attorney's fees. The other reason, we're going to go back to Sarah being wrong, of you can't just add a parenting plan to a closing argument. That's not what closing arguments are for. You can't add new things to a closing argument. You never submitted an official parenting plan. This does not count as one. She'll read it as maybe suggestions and to understand your frame of mind, but there is no way in the world that she's accepting, like you said in your original closing arguments, rejecting Brian's amended parenting plan and accepting your non-existent parenting plan written on a sticky note. C. Deny the petitioner's proposed parenting plan and grant the respondents in place of. And it's wild to put her name up top first and last and then to say the sender underneath. Are you still referring to her, or are you referring to New York now too? None of this makes sense because it's the most elaborate BS that no one is going to accept. That's like saying, sorry, I turned in this essay late. I had to ship it to Australia to have it typed because my computer didn't work. Then had it mailed to New York and then mailed back to me, and somehow it didn't get to you in time. And just expect everyone to not question this? And if it's this, please understand the importance of this missing page, parenting plan attorney's fees. Why didn't you start with that? Why was that not on your first or second or third page? Why? Because the first thing you started out with was, yet again, remember my motion for contempt. To begin, the respondent would like to address the section of alimony and the petitioner's motion for modification of alimony filed April 12, 2022. Respectfully, before this honorable court considers this request, the respondent asks for judicial notice be taken of her pending motion for contempt, filed April 11, 2023, against the petitioner, whom has willfully failed to comply with court-ordered alimony obligations by neglecting to pay ordered alimony to the respondent prior to filing this petition to modify. Because that is the most important thing to you. So when you want to end here saying first and foremost for my son, then maybe the parenting plan should have been the first thing you talked about instead of trying to have Brian punished for not paying you money.
His ex-wife is bonkers. She was all over him all the time. Send me money, send me money, send me money. When I say a monster, she's a monster. She like completely berates him about money, about the father that he is, what he did to her, all this other stuff.
Order of operations shows your priority. Normally, you start with your biggest one. And that's why you ended with attorney's fees, because that means the least to you in front of all this. So you are telling us your order of operations is give me money, give me money, give me money.
Send me money, send me money, send me money.
Give me my son, give me my son, give me my son.
Send me my son, send me my son, send me my son.
And F your attorney's fees, that's on you.
I would like to say something.
Go ahead.
I'm innocent. You all, you're garbage.
And it's like she can't go a single letter, thought, expression without shoehorning her son in at the very last second. Her son has nothing to do with this letter until the very last line. There was no reason for that, just because that whole line is unnecessary. Please understand my desperate attempts to be successful in this manner. Yet again, has this weird obsession with success and believes she is entitled to have it. And if she does not have success, it's because you didn't give her more.
Social media has made me a pariah. It has caused great oppression and undeniable disadvantages, especially by broadcasting and manipulating my cases online. In my criminal case, as a result, my opportunities to be given a fair, proper, and uninfluenced, successful conclusion was heavily depleted and poisoned. I forgive them. If I may please, what is over and above? What other pro se inmates, what is it that they've asked for? I don't see how they could successfully even represent themselves without internet and a regular working phone. And I'm pretty sure that they were not able to complete their case and the successful outcome that they were hoping for by being provided simply papers and pens.
Again, and do not tell her this, we both know I can't pay, nor am I going to try. It's a principle and right I very much want to take advantage of while I still can, so I can say I either tried or succeeded in something in this debacle of a case everything has turned into 4 years and counting.
I don't know what I'm doing wrong other than wanting to have a very successful outcome. It's just been long and drawn out, and I believe that God obviously believes in me as much as I do him in order for him to give me this very unique adventure that I am on, and I'm doing my best to let everyone know who I really am as opposed to the malicious murderer that everyone thinks that I am.
I've had no success in anything, and if this is something I have to do on my own like I do everything else, then God help me do it. And then the I am grateful. She does this all the time where she forces the answer into the other person. And you know, sometimes we reframe the language of thank you for your patience. That's fine, you know, not always begging for an apology, but also just acknowledging what people have already given you, given your lateness or what have you, the circumstances. But the way she uses it is weaponized, as is everything with her. She will say, forgive me, please. Thank you for your patience. Excuse me. Forgive me. I'm grateful. Da, 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 da.
If you're done, you're done.
Your Honor, thank you. Forgive me. I had no idea that the relocation parenting plan was even an issue, considering the fact it's been agreed upon.
I'm not sure why you have no idea when I've said it. I think this is the 5th time. Yeah.
Forgive me, Your Honor. If you could just give me a moment, please. Forgive me. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing with this relocation.
Next question. On those issues that I've gone over with you over and over again. Oh!
Forgive me. I'm trying to do my best without knowing what I'm doing. I would like, please, to...
Your Honor, forgive me, but I'm here on the phone trying to do all of this.
Forgive me when I ask you what other exhibits that you want to put into evidence.
I'm already assuming you're siding with me, so I'm grateful in advance for you taking this incorrectly, even though this makes no sense. Forgive me. She's never asked for forgiveness. She has demanded it. demanded it from Cranick, from the world, from his family, from everyone. She said, why can't I just forgive and be forgiven?
My family law case is the new prey waiting to be picked apart and pillaged from me being made infamous by social media in my criminal case. It simply seems I cannot forgive and be forgiven and move forward.
Why doesn't anyone just do these things for me? But she's never asked for it sincerely. She's saying that as an adage, not as a request, as a demand.
I didn't mean for this to happen. I would never. Forgive me, George. Forgive me, Torres family. Forgive me, Judge Cranick. To the entire planet, please forgive me. I graciously and humbly ask for consideration, for forgiveness to be extended instead of judgment, for reconciliation and restoration for all of us to move forward. My apology is profuse and ceaseless. Allow me, please, to brush off the muck, wipe the blood off of my face, and fix the cuts in my skin. I ask for understanding in what really happened and for how long. For second chances, repentance, and redemption, to advocate for all domestic violence survivors, to help them overcome, heal, and still hope, always, to make their voices heard, to confidently walk with all of their scars on the outside and the inside, to help them not ever become a casualty of domestic violence as so many others, to stop the abuse and maltreatment before it's too late. There is always hope, and you can survive.
Which, sidebar, because it's been a while since we just talked about that section. How absurd is it to say, I am going to be this champion martyr for domestic violence to tell survivors everywhere that you can survive. My victim didn't, but you can, if you stop the cycle of violence before it's too late. Yes, we all agree with that sentiment. The fact, I just don't know what kind of world imagination, Inception, Narniaville land she lives in, where she can say those words confidently, believing that they apply to her, that she is the one that survived a dangerous, life-threatening encounter the night she filmed herself murdering a man. And then the next day tell everyone it was a great day.
Did he say anything to you while he was in the suitcase? I know you guys were laughing, joking, but was any jokes made? Was anything said?
No, nothing negative or anything like. I'm telling you.
Just anything that he said, like
we were laughing about it.
Mm-hmm.
His tone changed, and I knew the tone. The things that he was saying very much frightened me, and cursing at me and threatening me.
Did he say anything to you while he was in the suitcase?
No, nothing negative or anything like. I'm telling you.
Just anything that he said, like
we were laughing about it.
Mm-hmm.
We had a good time sitting on the back porch, having wine and smoking a couple of cigarettes. I have no clue. Nobody laid a hand on anybody. I have not touched him.
Trauma.
I have not touched him. I have not touched him.
Then how would you get those injuries?
Tell me and we'll both know.
Why was he back here?
You tell me, and we'll both know.
I have not touched him.
You made those injuries.
I did.
The bruising. Is that from that bat?
Yes.
Everything was fine and dandy.
We were having a really good day, and we went across the street to Muldoon's, and everything was good and fine and dandy, and...
Well, he's been here for days. No? He hasn't been here for days, and you guys haven't been getting along all fine and good? And on the phone, you told me that you attacked him as well.
I didn't attack him.
You said you exchanged, you had a physical altercation on the phone. That's what you told me.
I pulled him off of me.
He said he has marks because I was fighting for my life.
I was being honest with you.
Okay, so what happened?
Everything
fine and dandy.
was fine and dandy. We had a good day. It was a good day. We've had good days lately. It's been good. Like, I don't even know where this is coming from. So happy. Like, it was such a good day. I kid you not.
Also, of all the good days we had together, for him at least, while I was constantly in hyperdrive, high alert, and paranoid, making sure I did everything right all the time. If not, the great possibility I would be ended as George threatened me with so many times before. I forgive myself for falling in love with a monster.
He and I having a great day, fooling around and being stupid, but I would never do that.
But it happened, and you did.
But that's after being playful. But no one's
and
having a good day.
No one's laughing except you.
Everybody's having a good day. Oh, I'm sorry?
I would hate to see a bad day. He's laughing
It
matter.
was fun.
Not by that
All
video.
day. All
By
day.
that video, that
All
part
day.
wasn't.
So it's going to be a good day all day?
Yes, it is. Even when
All day.
I shave all of this
All
off.
day.
Yes. Even when I shave all of this off.
All day.
It's going to be an amazing day. You can stop filming now.
It's not good enough.
It's going to be a great day. Today's a great day to have a great day.
Not by that
All
video.
day. All
By
day.
that video, that
All
part
day.
wasn't.
It was a great day.
Okay.
It didn't end well.
There was no arguments. No one laid a hand on anyone. It was a wonderful night. It's the best day that's ever happened. And then all these years later, you're saying, I was so terrified. I've never been more scared. I couldn't do anything. I had to get permission to go to the bathroom.
Were you in fear?
Always.
I dare you. I dare you. You get on your fucking little bike and go to fucking work tomorrow. Don't look at me. Don't come close to me. Don't touch me. Do you understand?
What do you mean?
I don't love you. I don't like you. I don't want to be with you.
If he would have gotten out of the suitcase, what would he have done to you?
Like he used to tell me, he probably would have made me unrecognizable, or I would have lost my life.
Get away from me.
Nobody's doing that.
I'm going to fucking hurt you.
Talk to other people, spend time with my son, have a job, friendships. Simply go to the bathroom with the door closed, or go to sleep soundly or comfortably. I forgive George for lying, for him trying in so many ways, so many times, to end me with his terrifying love.
Like, I thought he was okay. Like, I didn't,
He's telling you he's not. He's telling you, Sarah, I can't breathe. He's saying your name and you're like, that's my name, don't wear it out.
It's kind of, I thought it was
And
the
you know
boy
the oxygen
crying wolf kind of thing.
Okay.
And again, my plan.
Regardless
again,
of how long you were there, you left. You say,
I thought he was the boy calling wolf. Again.
You're like,
Again, it's the boy calling wolf.
Okay, but where does this game end? You say this is a game, you got somebody in
Obviously,
there.
like the wrong way.
When somebody's begging saying, I
But
can't
when you
breathe.
say that, though, but you have to, y'all
Please let me out, I can't
y'all
breathe.
don't know George, though. Like, again, I thought it was the boy crying wolf. So it's just like, what? Oh, so if, guys, that's how we are with each other. Like, nobody understands our relationship. The whole suitcase thing never happened before.
Lie after lie after lie. And then when you are supposed to be basically begging for your life, instead of accepting accountability for your own faults, you say, I am a champion, a beacon for all survivors out there so they can learn through my example that they can be just as strong as me and can get out of their abusive situations as well. By killing people? She never really lands the plane on that one, but okay. She goes, I told you I'm sorry. I told you I didn't mean it. I told you it was unintentional. I told you I'm grateful. I told you forgive me. So say it back. And future cut in here because one of the released phone calls covered this exact statement where she called Peter before sentencing even happened. She said she's not even worried about sentencing because she has all these people coming forward on her behalf. Ironically, all those people have since abandoned her, but she wasn't nervous at the time. And she also was just bragging about this sentencing statement, about how it's literally a professional fuck you, and yet we were supposed to see it as a genuine apology, and it's our fault that we didn't take it that way. So we won't do the full call, but let's look at some of it.
I don't remember what I was saying. Oh, the letters. So anybody who I had asked, I told them to send it to you, to send it to James, and to send it to. But I don't know if they did all of that. And I was just going to, if I had to triple make sure that it was there between the three of you guys, I was going to just do that. Okay. And yes.
How are you feeling? Are you like nervous, or what's going on in your head?
I'm not really nervous, to be honest with you. I am very confident, especially with the amount of people that I have coming to represent me, either in a letter, an email, or in person. I wanted to talk to you for a moment about like my statement and what you sent me information-wise in regards to how the judge could cut me off or interrupt me.
Mhm.
The case relevance to my case. I'm going to talk about forgiveness of George Torres' family, social media, my 3 prior attorneys, both judges, the jury, and myself, the prosecutor and the detectives. So I didn't know if that was too much or whatever, but I read it to Lana, and she was freaking floored and said, don't be afraid of the judge and just keep doing it, because if he does interrupt you, then it's going to be an appellate issue. But I don't want him to stop me in the middle of it, and, I'm on the flow, like getting it, and then him say, you can't read that any longer. So I'm starting off with, it's forgiveness, okay? It's forgiveness. So I'm forgiving, first off, George Torres. And I'm forgiving him for, beating, spitting, raping, beating, all of that. I'm forgiving him for all of that, okay? But nothing actually came and brought to light in my actual case, so I made a list of some of the things that he had done to me, and I was forgiving him for, okay?
Okay.
My second one is going to be, I forgive his family for not intervening, for helping and knowing who he was and what he did, and to throw out there also about Pharrell stabbing the mother of his baby in the side of his head, which, talks about the violence in their family. I mean, it's a split-second blip on the radar.
Mm.
And then I was going to forgive social media for their insensitivity and, how I am, where I am, and who they have depicted me as, and forgive them for that. And then I was going to forgive the judge for making me pro se, for kicking me when I was down, for, not listening, and basically that's what it is. And then I was going to write, and then I wrote about the detectives and their trickery and coercion and, why didn't they take the bloody pillowcase of mine? Why didn't they take the butcher knife and the garden claw? Why didn't they do anything like that? So I'm forgiving them for that. And then the prosecutor, I was forgiving him for his errors during the trial to cause confusion and dysfunction to the jury, which equaled them giving me the sentence that they did. And then the jury I was going to forgive for not understanding and being confused and being hungry and away from their family for 2 weeks, in full capacity. And I feel that it was a rushed decision, and I forgive them for that. And I understand about them being away from their family for 2 weeks and everything else. So, and then I was going to forgive myself for not standing up for myself sooner, for not, distancing myself, not fighting for myself, not doing any of that sooner. So I didn't know if this was too much, if I was going out of my boundaries.
I don't
know if I...
Look, I mean, the judge will do whatever he wants, but as long as it's said in a way that it's not contemptuous.
It's smart-ass and condescending.
Maybe what you could do is you could, prioritize it so that the ones that you want to say the most are, in order. So this way, if he does shut you down, then at least you got the ones out that you wanted to say,
Okay, yes, and thank you for your feedback. But my thing is,
Yeah.
First off, it's not what you think it is. It may be after I read it to you. So maybe at 1 o'clock, if you had 15 minutes or maybe another phone call, I would like to read it to you, okay?
Okay, yeah, that would be great.
But my thing is, though, it's a professional fuck you. Excuse me. It's a professional fuck you.
Yeah.
And I don't want him in the middle of it to say, what does this have relevance to my case? And it is my case. My entire, every detail that I'm giving to you right now, as everyone on the face of the planet knows, this is part of my case. It's not just specific case details. The specific case details are specific case details because of how I got to that point. So there's a lot and everything that is involved in my case, which is what I'm trying to let the judge know. And I'm forgiving everybody.
Does that sound like forgiveness to you? Because it doesn't to me. That sounds ridiculous to me. The idea of specific case details, everyone needs to know that this isn't just about specific case details because these details are only details because of how I got to that place. No, this is the core issue to all of this. Because she thinks this isn't, everyone is focusing too much on the details of the murder I committed. No. You need to focus on the drama that surrounded my life, that put me in a drug-induced, rageful haze, that put me in a state where I thought it was okay to murder a man and film myself doing it. is essentially what she's asking us to do. She wants us to look at all of this, red herrings everywhere, just to try to justify her actions. And no. If she wanted people to pay attention to the context surrounding this, how she got to be where she is, that's for first-degree murder. When they're trying to prove intention, which they absolutely could. And there it is, Linda. Even Linda could absolutely prove your intent through all of your actions leading up to this. You sent messages to his brother, the hide-and-seek cryptic messages, how you want to just get rid of him.
To Mo, the brother again. It's a Torres thing. Boo. Sends a picture. Keep the fugly creep out too. It's still fugly. Lose. The brother responds, please do something with yourself, Sarah. God bless you. The defendant's response, and bless you and all of you too. I'll get, in all capitals, rid of him. Then it'll be, in all capitals, better. Ugh, Torres. Referring to Mr. Torres. Getting rid of. The next text is, hide and seek, I shall.
Your violence kept escalating and escalating.
Hands behind your back.
For what?
For battery domestic?
Me?
Both of you. You two hitting each other.
Oh.
Is
this for real?
This is for real.
Why am I in trouble though?
Because of
Why
the
am
marks
I in
he
trouble?
has all on his neck and the inconsistencies
That's
of
me
the story.
fighting back. Why? Because I fucking fought back?
Okay. And on the phone, you told me that you attacked him as well.
I didn't attack him.
You said you exchanged, you had a physical altercation on the phone. That's what you told me.
I pulled
He
him
said,
off of me.
he said he has marks because I was fighting for my life.
I was being honest with you.
I'm gonna fucking hurt you.
I swear I did not lay a hand on him.
I'm gonna fucking hurt you.
Did you ever see marks or bruises on him?
Yes.
Okay. Like what?
Scratches on the neck.
Scratches.
Always. Like they were always.
Did she physically touch George, or was she just getting really upset and
upset? Like she came out upset. But there's a person, I can't remember, somebody seen him because he was on a bike one day. And he told me, I can't remember the person it was because he was on a bicycle and she hit him with the car. And I can't remember who the person was. And he told me.
Okay. Have you ever seen any marks on George?
Yeah, around his neck, eye.
Like what kind of marks?
Like the time she hit him with the phone.
Okay.
He had a black eye, scratches all over his neck.
So if you really want to go down that path, that would be for first-degree murder. For second-degree murder, it doesn't matter if you intended to kill him or not. You understood the dangerous, life-threatening situation that you put him in, and you didn't care.
So it goes from funny to no longer funny, but you're the only one laughing.
But I didn't think that he was, like, panicky. Like,
So pushing up on a suitcase saying, Sarah, Sarah, Sarah. I can't breathe.
George has done that in the past before, too, where it's just like he thinks that he's woe is me kind of thing, where it's like,
He's never been locked in a suitcase where he couldn't get out, so.
It's kind of, I thought it was the boy
the oxygen
crying wolf kind of thing.
Okay.
And again, my plan.
But nowhere in there is he laughing, is he joking. He is begging. And you're the only one laughing.
Okay.
And you're the only one saying derogatory comments, like you're mad.
No. Please don't, I don't mean to sound negative, and I don't know if I can say this, but, like, it's like you guys are kind of trying to, like, feed me. Like.
No, I'm just trying to show you a video that you no longer want to watch because you probably don't want to know the outcome of how and what you said.
Well, I know what.
You know what's on that video now?
No.
You remember making that video?
No.
Why don't you remember making the video?
Probably because we had been drinking.
But you weren't drunk.
No. Just because I went upstairs and... Just because you're drunk doesn't mean that you...
You told us times that you were not drunk. You said that you had your wits about you. You said he had his wits about you. You said that you don't like not having your wits. In my experience, if somebody cannot remember doing something to the extent of making 2 videos and taking a photo, they are intoxicated.
Okay. I understand where you all are coming from.
Well, we're just trying to make sense of it. We're trying to figure out what you're saying.
We're trying to figure out this video.
You explain it to us. We're listening.
I just did. Like, we were playing, and then, like, I thought it was... My plan was not to go upstairs and go to sleep. My plan was not to... He'll be up here any minute.
But you willingly went upstairs and went to sleep. No one forced you to go upstairs and get
My
ready
plan
for
wasn't
bed.
also to leave him in the suitcase.
So why didn't you take him out?
Because I went upstairs, and then I fell asleep.
But why didn't you consciously think, he's asking to come out, he can't
I didn't do it
breathe.
intentionally.
I didn't do it intentionally.
You did what you wanted anyway. You weren't in danger. This isn't you protecting yourself. You were having a great night.
We had a good day. It was a good day. We've had good days lately, even considering everything that's going on with our jobs and life in general and ex-wives and everything. It's been good. Like, I don't even know where this is coming from.
It took so much strength not to scream throughout that entire phone call. I'm going to have to hold back some things for this video because I'll definitely have to do a video covering these phone calls. So I might give my opinions, but not pull all the receipts yet, and then really dig into it in that other video. But yeah, let's back it all the way up to the beginning of this phone call. Honestly, it's been so much time between my filming of the last little chunk of this and now that I don't even know why I started playing this, but we're going to go through it anyway. Peter comes off the top saying, "Are you nervous?" Very natural question given the sentence that you're facing.
Life in the Department of Corrections.
Anyone should be or would be nervous, but not our Sarah, not our good old Sarah Catherine Boone Paulsen.
Excuse me. Clown! You're eating my peach.
She is as confident as can be, and as we saw with the clip from Suma's video I played earlier, she absolutely was as confident as could be. This was her limelight. She said she is very confident because of all the people she has coming forward and in the email and on the phone calls, and then you get to trial and it's 3 people, and none of them she knew before being incarcerated. The delusional world she lives in gives her all the confidence in the world, and in some respect, good for you, but she didn't think even for a solitary second that she would get life in prison. Even to this moment, she never understood the severity of her circumstances, which is why she's shocked at every single turn. But she goes into this whole thing of what if the judge cuts her off? And I had this feeling because the way it's written is so, and like she says, it's so smart-ass and condescending.
It's smart-ass and condescending. It's smart-ass and condescending. It's smart-ass and condescending.
Spiteful, vicious, vindictive, and evil that most people would stop her. And I think that's what she was banking on. She wanted him to stop her so bad so that she could really ride this victim train, I don't know where, to hell, but she was going to ride it somewhere. And that's why even though it's bittersweet that Cranick didn't cut her off, I'm glad he didn't and let her spew out every last piece of venom she could. She got it all out. This was her professional fuck you.
But my thing is, though, it's a professional fuck you. Excuse me. It's a professional fuck you. It's a professional fuck you. Excuse me. It's a professional fuck you. It's a professional fuck you. Excuse me. It's a professional fuck you.
So I hope it was worth it. You got that life sentence just to say that. And you were very confident about saying, that just doesn't make sense to me. Even if you are confident going into sentencing, saying for some reason, maybe I've pulled the wool over people's eyes, I'm going to have enough people lie on my behalf, and naturally I'm going to get that 22.5-year minimum is going to be my maximum. I'm so confident that I'm going to read this killer's manifesto in front of everyone, blame everyone, do my professional fuck you. I'm going to be clipping that out and using that forever.
It's a professional fuck you. Excuse me. It's a professional fuck you.
Yeah.
And
Because she had the audacity to get mad at Kranick after the fact, saying, you didn't listen to my heartfelt passion and my this and my that. Mr. Michael Kranick, I am enclosing, please, my complete statement to you and the world as I partially read during my sentencing hearing. By my reserving particular parts of my very true and meaningful statement,
it's a professional fuck you. Excuse me. It's a professional fuck you.
I was hoping to have been graced with your forgiveness, understanding, and consideration in any level or degree. For me, unfortunately, and regardless of whom I had speak on my behalf or the number of, your ignorant mind was already made up. And it's like, no, you're proving even from now, of this moment, before any of this happened, that you went in there intending to wreak havoc.
It's smart ass and condescending.
There was never any forgiveness in that statement. There was never any kindness. It was all venom, spite. You're mad at the world and you wanted to say,
I'm innocent. You all, you're garbage.
and you did. You did a great job. You enraged pretty much everyone. I don't know anyone who went to your side after you said that statement. You would have had some people who were, big old strong supporters that stayed with you through that. But that statement did not open anyone's eyes to your side. It only opened everyone's eyes to who you are. And it double and triple confirms that you really are that vicious, murdering monster we all feared you were. No emotion, no remorse, no care. She calls him George Torres now. She has distanced him so much, and also you can just feel the resentment has been building and growing inside her for years. She hates this man.
It's not one of those things where it's like, oh gosh, you know what, I've done enough for you at this point. I never gave up on him.
Okay.
Why I'm here today, I'm still not giving up on him. I would do anything for him.
Well, you gave up checking up on him.
Wouldn't let him out of a suitcase.
Oh, gosh.
She hated him before she killed him.
I don't love you. I don't like you. I don't want to be with you.
She hated him as she was killing him.
For everything you've done to me. For everything you've done to me. Fuck you.
And she hated him to this day afterwards.
Above all, when you let go of blame, misunderstandings, excuses, give up your anger and cease from resentment, this is forgiven. And when you forgive, you have, and when you forgive.
But I don't want him to stop me in the middle of it. And, I'm on the flow, like getting it.
You have, and when you forgive, you heal. My goal begins with George Torres, and every time he slapped me, kicked, punched, spit on, raped, stabbed, choked, laughed at, pushed, pulled, dragged, whipped, tripped, stole from, lied, terrorized, threatened, humiliated, forced, degraded, made me cry. For beating me senseless, for ruining my deceased family's heirlooms, traditions, and keepsakes, destroying the television we watched together, for wrecking our townhome, for breaking or removing the locks from all of the doors and sometimes the knobs altogether, so I had nowhere to feel safe. Including the sacred space of my son's room where he beat me bloody on his bed. For terrorizing and threatening my blind and deaf dog, for threatening to make me unrecognizable to my son, for drowning me in liquor and wine because I didn't want to drink.
I can't get drunk. Number one, I do not want to get drunk. Or I don't want to drink. I don't want to drink. The occasional wine, whatever, or if it's a weekend.
The occasional wine, whatever, or if it's a weekend.
That's when you have a good time. You don't have to wake up the next day.
You don't have to wake up the next day.
Causing me to urinate on myself, then butting the end of the bottle in my face, giving me 2 black eyes and a bloody nose. For me experiencing ever being arrested, and after today, prison. for destroying my reputation and integrity, for my M for murderer scarlet letter. I forgive George for lying, for him trying in so many ways, so many times, to end me with his terrifying love.
She absolutely hates this man. To the point where even 5 years later, she's bringing him up in her family court trial as reasons for why she's a shit parent because the man she murdered made her a shit parent.
I'm not a bad parent because I was trying to make sure he was safe and in a safe place. Do you understand the domestic violence part of it?
No. Well, yes, just not from the side you think.
Did you watch my trial?
Yes.
Did you see the pictures?
And I saw all the videos.
Never-ending insanity. And backing up to where she said, people need to know about my case details, something she really never quite comprehended and never sank in with her. George isn't on trial. George was never on trial. Only you were on trial for his murder. So you trying to bring up all this ancillary, non-important things, all these gripes that made you feel bad, that turned you into a homicidal maniac, doesn't mean anything. The only details that mattered were the case details, as in on that night, what did you do? All while saying, oh, I love him. Of course I wouldn't do this. ... He haunts me.
Almost everything reminds me of him. Seeing my stab wound especially every day especially.
I don't want him to stop me in the middle of it. And, I'm on the flow, like getting it.
Seeing my stab wound especially every day especially. It truly reminds me that all I really did live through. George haunts me. He is everywhere. ...
I forgive him for doing all of these things I'm just now for the first time going to accuse him of. But I have a microphone and a camera and no one's going to cut me off. And this is the last time I'll be able to say these things. So let me say absolutely every vile thing I can think of. Which is why I can't feel bad for her even a little bit, because she brought it all on herself and she's proud of it. And she thinks she is so smart and so above everyone else that she can fool everyone and then blame you for not falling for her very obvious, disgusting act and then still take the moral high ground either way. It's kind of this Schrodinger's logic where her answer changes as soon as you observe it. It can be either or. It could be serious or it could be a joke. You didn't understand my humor. You didn't understand my passion. How could you take those words seriously? I was just upset. Also, how could you not listen to every word? You didn't listen to me even a little bit. It's a never-ending, exhausting circle with her. I think that's why it's taken me so long to get through this, because it's just repetition. How many times have I made this same video in different iterations, covering the same various similar topics in new iterations, because she just repeats the same exact behavioral patterns a million different ways and reflects it onto everyone in her life. And I mean, it still is entertaining to me, and it is still illuminating as to the psyche of this type of person, because I don't know, it just feels like other people who have similar dispositions to her have some redeeming qualities somewhere, have some boundaries and lines they won't cross somewhere. She doesn't. And so for that reason, I think she's an interesting character study, if anything, that people who recognize there's other people in their lives who behave similarly, but maybe they're not as bad as Sarah in X reason or Y capacity. Sarah is the example of what it's like to be this type of person through and to the core. It's rotten. You're rotten, Lana. But anyway, that's a tangent on my tangent. What else did she cover in this phone call? Oh yeah, I'm going to forgive George. Oh, sorry, this was about her distancing herself from George Torres, because the day after she kills him, she's just calling him George. Then for years, she didn't say his name at all. She called him the decedent. And the court repeatedly appointed me public defenders, 3, without any research or care. And after continuously explained to each and tried to the judge court. They could not represent me due to their representations of the decedent. Which was so disgustingly disrespectful in my mind. And then she started calling him Mr. Torres.
Both of the charges were dropped for Mr. Torres and for myself was because we did cooperate and there was not enough information.
So please, if you can,
Dismiss.
dismiss this case.
Closed.
Drop it. She is not that type of person.
Good person.
She's a great person.
Angel. Best thing that has ever happened to you.
Yes, ma'am. And I love you to death.
Both of the charges were dropped for Mr. Torres and for myself was because we did cooperate and there was not enough information.
And there was not enough information.
And now it's George Torres. It's just, he is the victim of this case. She still has never understood that. And that's why when she talks about the scoundrel detectives and their nonstop coercion and trickery, why didn't they look into this? Why didn't they look into that? Why didn't they find the butcher knife or the garden claw? They're not just going to look at random sharp or blunt objects in an apartment and say, yes, obviously the murdered victim who is bloodied, beaten, and dead attacked the victim who's hysterical with not a mark on her.
Nobody got out of sorts. This is what's mind-blowing to me. Like, I have no clue. Nobody laid a hand on anybody. I have no idea.
As if something hit him.
I
consider
not
force
touched him.
trauma.
I have not touched him. I have not touched him.
I'm here now because I'm still trying to help him. Yeah, we just don't, it's unexplainable how he got these injuries, and
I have no idea.
You were the only one with him.
100% right hand to God. I have no idea how he got them. Nobody touched anybody. Nobody touched anybody. He nor I.
Well, he's dead as a result
laid
of your
hands
action.
on each other.
He is dead as a result of
I
your
understand
action.
that.
So,
that's why
You two didn't lay hands on each other.
No. No. I don't have anything.
You're right.
He doesn't. Whatever that is, whatever it is.
He does.
See, this is what happens. It's not fair that you guys, just because he has those, automatically blame it on me.
That they are unworthy of her forgiveness, but she's going to give it anyway for you not to create your own lies in order to justify her and ignore George's life entirely, which is what she tried to do from the second they arrived. The millisecond she gets there, they said, oh my goodness, this is horrific. Look at this dead body. How did this happen? Who killed this man? She says, I'm afraid for my life.
Basically a dead woman. Scrambling. I'm playing hide and seek. I don't know if I talked to you or, I have, serious concerns. Who do I talk to about that?
About what?
With his family. I have genuine concerns, especially with him having my son up here.
Okay.
I'm fearful of his family.
Why?
They don't like me. They have never liked me. They're going to come and kill me. They're going to come and kill me. I want you to know that. Look.
If you're in fear, are you talking about
yes.
family?
Yes.
Okay.
I want you to know I am full blown. They're going to come and kill me.
So
They're going to come and kill me.
Okay.
It's a bad situation, especially with this now. So I want you to know, and I'm telling you, I have genuine concerns about his family.
Okay.
I'm telling you, personally, honestly, I am scared. Who do I need to talk to about his family? I'm afraid to link you now.
I will wait until the detectives come and talk to you, and you could discuss that with them. Okay.
Tell the detectives.
Yes. They should be here momentarily.
So he said that I needed to tell you guys about his family. Who do I talk to about that?
We're gonna do that once we walk through and see. Yeah, we're
not
gonna.
going anywhere. We're gonna
I'm
be here
just
for a
telling you,
while.
this
is gonna be a
I'm
while.
afraid for my life. I want you to know that. I am afraid for my life. His family have never liked me. I'm the blue-eyed white devil, is what they call me. So they've never liked me. They've never taken me in. They've never accepted me. I'll put it that way.
Have you called any of them?
We talked to his daughters yesterday.
No, I mean, like, about this. Does
No.
anyone know? Okay.
That's
so
why
no one's going to know until we will be making that notification. So
they're going to kill me.
Okay, well.
Do they live local?
Yes, they're down the road. They're going to kill me. His kids are going to kill me in Philadelphia. They're going to kill me. This was not intentional.
Okay.
And they're not going to understand that. They're not going to accept it.
We're going to do a thorough investigation, and we will take.
I'm really scared. Like,
Well, we're
you don't
here,
know
so
anything though, like why or how? I'm like really scared. I want you guys to know that.
you have, look around, you have all these deputies here, so while we're here, nothing's going to happen to you. Before we go and make any notifications, you'll have plenty of time to leave or do what
Run.
you need to do.
And then,
But like, I don't, like, this was totally like not intentional. Like, that's what I'm scared about too. Like so, like, do you guys tell his family like today or after tomorrow?
We have to.
It's the law. We have to go make contact with your family.
Yeah.
They have to be notified.
Once our investigation is pretty much complete here, once we leave here, we will be going to.
But again, you'll know. I'm not going to just go and do it without you knowing. You'll know. We'll talk to you prior to doing anything like that.
But how, I mean, I understand what you guys and how you do it, and, you know, so, but, like, what do you just tell him? What do you tell his parents? Like, what's the reason he passed away?
We tell them what we know at that point.
Yeah.
We tell them the truth.
But yeah, they're gonna know what we're here, what we're investigating, and that
they're gonna think I killed him.
Why would they think that?
They always have said that. They've always have said that.
What have they
I
said?
told you it's because I'm the blue-eyed white dragon. That's what they call me. Because they don't want him with me. So he's basically just not really been around his family because he chooses me over them. Even after I've encouraged him numerous times to go over there and see his family. Unforgiving, I'll say that, where they've never accepted me. And everybody in his family has tried to kick my ass. So, especially his sister. He had to pull her off me one time.
Safe. You're not going to leave here with you not feeling safe, because then we're liable.
And then his ex-wife in Philadelphia.
Well, she's in Philadelphia, but yes.
Shoot. There's going to be a funeral. I don't even know what to tell you.
We're gonna cross that bridge when we get to it. I know you're fearful of it now, but nothing has happened to where you're in fear based off past history and what they think of you and how
They threaten me all the time.
Do you have proof or is it all verbal? Like what, in your phone?
No, it's verbal.
Okay.
It's verbal.
So it's he said versus she said, or she said.
Completely forget the man who lost his life. Ignore all of that. I'm alive right now, and I could lose my life. So we need to focus this back on me. And that part always sticks out to me. And it stuck out to me the most the first time I ever saw any of this, was just like, wow, she's acting really erratic and nothing's quite making sense. And this story is ludicrous. Wait, did she just say that she's afraid for her life? What? The murderer is afraid for the... okay. Because the family... What? None of it made sense from beginning to now. And then the more we dig into it, and it's this same repetitive pattern of the same exact commentary I gave the first time we saw that, is the same commentary that cycled itself back when we saw her do it originally in past body cam footage. She blames the family, she blames George, she blames the police, she blames everyone in the exact same way for all of the issues in her life. Honestly, I believed if you asked her, what has she ever done wrong in her life, she can't name a thing that is not tethered to someone else's initial blame. Yes, I did these things wrong, but that's only because he did blank. They did blank. I wasn't allowed to do blank. And then the stupid bloodied pillowcase. Why didn't you look at the bloodied pillowcase? And I have so many issues with that. One, if there were blood on the pillowcase, which I think there was, and they did actually take it, it just wasn't your blood. So I don't know what you want to say there. But do you want me to believe that you slept on a bloodied pillowcase every night for however long? Because you said nothing physical happened for the past month, yet you had a bloodied pillowcase. They're like, what, $3? You wouldn't replace that? You had to spend every dollar on alcohol that you couldn't replace your bloody pillowcase? Or were you saving it just in case? It didn't exist. What am I saying? It never existed. She just needs imaginary things to have been there so that she can blame Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends for why she killed George. They're the ones who took her upstairs and made her fall asleep. They're the ones who did not let George out of the suitcase. They're the ones who took the video. That would have to be true in order for her to be innocent. If that didn't happen, then you're just a vile murderer.
We, the jury, find the defendant guilty of murder in the second degree.
But it's just this never-ending list of the people she's forgiving. She's forgiving George Torres' family, the detectives, social media for not being sensitive enough or whatever, the judge, jury, myself. The myself gets me every time. You're forgiving yourself, and it's not even that you need to forgive yourself. Some people do need to forgive themselves. Why do we need to know? Why do we need to know that you forgive yourself? Just do it. That makes no sense whatsoever. If you want to fake apologize to everyone else, and I mean, that's not an apology. If you want to fake beg for forgiveness from everyone else, you do that. Why do we need to know that Sarah Catherine Boone Paulsen has forgiven herself for killing this man? That makes you look worse, not better. And all this, I don't want him to stop me while I'm in the middle of my flow, while you're in your flow. She literally took this as her final swan song performance and is shocked that she will be behind bars for the rest of her life because of it. I mean, Peter said it correctly, and I think it's true as well, of the statement didn't really affect Cranick one way or the other. I don't think he would have given her a lesser sentence if she had said something actually genuine, but it 100% didn't help her. I just don't get the mentality of, I'm so confident I'm not going to get life that I can actively say F you all, and even F you, Judge Cranick. How dare you? You kicked me while I was down. You made me go pro se. Who are you? Also, don't give me life in prison. She completely missed the entire plot of what a mitigating statement is supposed to be. She actually says that later in that call of, well, is this too much?
I'm going to talk about forgiveness of George Torres' family, social media, my 3 prior attorneys, both judges, the jury, and myself, the prosecutor and the detectives. So I didn't know if that was too much or whatever.
Because that means she knows the answer. She knows the answer is, of course, this is too much. But you call these people because you want to talk to a mirror and you want someone to tell you exactly what you are telling yourself, to confirm it and to be like, okay, great. Other people are telling me I can be a piece of shit, so I'm going to be a piece of shit. Wait, what was I saying? Oh, is it too much? My short-term memory is terrible. Anyway, she's like, I don't know, is this too much? Are people up there expecting me to say I'm sorry and cry and this and that? Is that what people are expecting?
I mean, am I wrong? Tell me, is this supposed to be like, oh God, I'm so sorry that this happened. I love George. You know, tears, 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 you know, all this. I mean, is that what it's supposed to be, and that's what everybody's expecting me to say?
Yes. That's exactly what people are expecting in a mitigating statement. For you to lie your ass off and say, I'm so sorry, I never wanted this to happen. He was a great individual who didn't deserve this. All the things that you don't actually believe, that is what you are supposed to say. You are supposed to beg for mercy and say, I still want to be involved in my son's life. I want to see him grow up one day, you know, even though you took a father away from his own children. You could have said anything of, I need to be released from prison one day because blank. Please allow me to do that. But no, it was, I forgive you and you're welcome. Crazy work. And Lana saying that if he does interrupt you, it'll be an appellate issue. No, it won't. Mitigating statements aren't part of the trial. This is you pleading for mercy. Trial's done. But she needed to believe that it is her right to say F you one last time. Okay, but now we're going to move on to this 4th page that she wrote. You know, just proving the fact that she could have handwritten these closing arguments from the beginning and avoided all of this. But no, she has to be successful in this manner by going about it in the least successful way possible.
Uninfluenced, successful conclusion, complete their case and the successful outcome that they were hoping for.
So I can say I either tried or succeeded in something in this debacle of a case. I've had no success in anything.
My desperate attempts to be successful in this manner. All right, let's see her page 4. I mean, this is pretty much the same stuff that we already covered. It was just typed because the document Human Tooth sent me had the included missing pages. So we just went through that whole thing. But this is her writing it out. You chose to type them up and send them to Australia and New York for some reason. And you're blaming them. There goes another bridge. Peter and Nicole, people who helped, she threw you under the bus the millisecond she could.
What is this bus everybody keeps talking about?
Nothing.
Is the bus still running?
But okay, maybe there might be something different in this written one, so we'll just go through it.
Get used to disappointment.
If not, it's just the same thing we already went through. Sarah K. Boone, pro se respondent, closing arguments, page 4. Per the petitioner's amended parenting plan, quote, the father shall maintain open access and contact between the minor child and the mother, and to foster a feeling of affection between the minor child and the mother. The child will be a legal adult in only three years, and the respondent questions why petitioner would attempt now to deplete the communication and comfort already established and the relationship between mother and son. Who cares what the respondent questions? Why is this in here? The respondent questions why he would try this now, even though it's been well established that he's been trying to do this for years since he submitted this in 2022. The fact that you stalled your criminal court case for 3 more years after that is not his fault and is not a viable argument of why is he waiting so long to do this. It's only going to be 3 more years. 3 more years of you relentlessly hounding them?
Tell son to plug in phone. Goes directly to voicemail, and I've been trying to call all weekend. I try calling you every night. Going to call tonight with no answer. Still trying to speak to my son. I am floored. You nor he answered the phone after calling every 3 times on every night. Let me guess. Tonight you're watching him and his phone with me, so I can speak to him after trying 8 times over the weekend. Blink enable our phone difference when it is. I await your highly anticipated. I tried calling 9 times today. 8 yesterday, just for you to yell and not care as usual while typing on your computer. Blink stupid, uncaring response your father gives me. If you are choosing not to talk to me, I wish you just man up. Jesus Christ. I love you. Why do I have to and tell me so I can stop looking like the fool you are making me out to be by calling just to be yelled at, your mother names or hung up on? I tried if calling nothing to say to me today, or care enough to include me like and share your life, arrogant, just be honest and say so. Feel good about you are yourself. My son. Blank. I am your super mom. Weak and feel forever never important. No matter who am I to where, blank, when, really you ask yourself that. No matter really want me in your life so much, delete, erase you every day, wanted every day. That's how you make me feel. Stop being mean to me and not care. I can't make it. I'm already going. If not this way, then to be disregarded and simplistic unless time is unsneaky for your time and for no reason. Everything. Do you delight in making me feel worse? Don't forget about it. Does it make your day knowing you make me? Who am I?
Avoiding that is a hill worth dying on because it's absurd. This isn't one of these little, oh, I only call every so often once a month and now they're trying to make it once every 3 months. There's no reason or why would they do this? There is nothing but an abundance of evidence that you have a terrible relationship with communication and Brian and your son. It shows your abusive tactics never went away. They just funneled down into fewer communication channels to where everyone can see just how terrible you are to your son. So you want to say all of this much established comfort, and then we look at the text messages and you just explode on him.
To her son, sunny day, Sunday, scripture. You're the one in charge. I've come to the frightening conclusion
12 seconds later.
I'm not going to be dehumanized by you any longer. It's a choice. You blank gifts whenever your father decides to
Send me money, send me money, send me money.
order. It's the middle of February, blank, and I have no resources, family, or money.
Money.
You have all and do nothing blank this year. Make a video visit telling me you were going to your blank in any way. And after last year lying about making me a card for the blank, father won't even let me have a hot meal ever and keeps lying he blank to want to be a weatherman when you were younger. Here's your chance, blank, about by you. Know that. You're the one in charge. This is so abusive to your son. It's insane. And then if you were to ever confront her with this message, she would say, well, that only happened because the petitioner forced me to, because he allows him to curse. And that's why this happened.
Why was your statement made that our son is upset after speaking to me on the phone? Do you know specifically why? Because you asked me or him?
Because he tells me. I can see him.
I'm asking you if he explained to you why he was upset.
Yes.
And why is that?
Can I mean, any number of different reasons. The way you talked to him, what you said to him, how you made him feel. I mean, the plethora of emotions that you corrupted.
Is it because you allowed him to curse on the phone?
That I allowed him to what?
The majority of the time I will tell you this, which you are unaware of because
You're not telling anybody anything, ma'am.
I can't control my own abusive actions because they made me feel bad. So you have to ignore that because it's truly their fault, and I'm still a perfect, great mother. And even if that message, a message like that, hasn't been sent in months, because we don't have the most updated prison text communications, talking to your child like that even once is more than enough evidence to prove that you have no issues with belittling, insulting, berating, guilting, abusing your child if you feel wronged anyway. John 20:24-29. Do you believe? See him everywhere. He died for your lies, bad attitude, backbiting, selfish ways. Overcome like he did and like I am. You're supposed to be better from his selfless act. Happy Easter. Wish I was included. Hope you like your package I made for you. I love you no matter how uncaring and nonchalant you are towards me. I wish you wouldn't be. Mother. Wow. You can smoothly fuck off with that. Absolutely. How dare you? That is what parenthood is about. Your child is going to hurt your feelings. It is unavoidable. You're the adult. You get over it. Journal it, I don't care. Complain to the other inmates around you, but you do not bring that kind of energy to your child who is just trying to make it through a situation you put them in. So yeah, to answer her original question of why is the petitioner now trying to disrupt this communication? Because of what you've done with that communication. You've abused that right, so you should lose it. This would not and is not in the best interest of the child. What the respondent is proposing will deepen the relationship and truly foster feelings of affection. One 30-minute phone call per week proposed by the petitioner, father, will not at all achieve any, quote, feeling of affection, nor, quote, the father ensuring one monthly visit if football games don't take priority, he stated in trial. He sure did state it in trial. He said, I don't even want to be nailed down to one visit a month because who knows what's going to happen. We have lives.
And so why do you believe that one visit per month is appropriate?
I think that's plenty enough. I mean, I wouldn't want that necessarily like set in stone. I would like it to be a little more flexible because, I mean, there's quite possibly, I mean, going to be situations where, I mean, it's only on weekends. So you've got like 4 weekends out of the whole month to get it done. And if he's got extracurricular things, I mean, we have season tickets for football games at UF. We go to games all the time. We have basketball season tickets. So there are lots of things we're doing. So, I mean, it's entirely possible we'll have a month where all 4 weekends are just taken up that month.
Would you be willing to commit to 12 visits a year, which would average out to be at least once a month?
Yeah, something like that would probably work.
We have season tickets here, season tickets there. We try to do this, we try to do that. Yes, they are trying to find joy in their lives because of the chaos you have added to it. Trying to find some form of escapism to try to feel normal and to have normal interactions throughout the day is something people need and crave. And just because their psycho killer ex and mother decided to kill someone doesn't mean that they have to put their whole life, all their passions, pleasures, enjoyments on pause until she can get her pizza and wings.
No hot meal again. Why do you keep lying? For months, blank, October. They have no order in my name. Why do you keep blank asking you and the vendor in front of everyone for the blank order? You are such a despicable, lying, sad person. No blank. Keep lying. Hot meals times 2. Why didn't you order, Brian? They just came without calling my name. And because you will not give me confirmation numbers to ask the rep, I again have nothing for New Year's nor for Christmas. Even after asking over and over and over and over, starting December 6th, today's the 27th, and you couldn't find 5 minutes to order? But keep telling me you would and were going to? Are your holidays complete and even merrier knowing you did nothing so I could have nothing again? Why are you continuously lying to me about everything? Lying about everything. It's just a hot meal that you permit me to have only about 2 times a year, not even for Christmas, but kept telling me you would and were going to. How many more times did you want me to ask? Not even a hot meal for Christmas. Thank you, Brian. Oh, woe is me. Get the F over it.
Which is ironic because also in the jail text messages, she yells at him for not taking him, the son, to a baseball game or whatever.
No promised baseball game for son. Do you know how looking forward to his, quote, first baseball game ever, he blank, something fun to do on his spring break? He asked you on the recorded, I'm guessing phone call, blank, you would take him. You stated, quote, it was sold out. When I had to call you, blank, phone charge so I can remind him to bring it with him for the selfies, blank, while there. When did you try and buy tickets? Yesterday or this morning, blank, over a week ago. So disappointing. You didn't really want blank. The call also, you've got the sec game on today, which you wanted, blank, right? You can record the sec game. You can't your son's first baseball, blank. Know who you are, Brian, and am used to your perpetual disappointment, blank, about all the time from almost everything you, quote, promise him. He's blank presents in ongoing April. So disappointing. You, one day, now and blank, for everything, including what you do for and to me. His blank relationship with him and encourage the same with me. His mother. Blank, coming from a poor example. You enjoy your sec game. Pray the blank. Okay.
So you can't win with her. If you don't take him to a game she wants you to take him to, you're an evil, terrible parent. You're despicable, all these things. If you do take him or even suggest the idea that you will take him to football and basketball games, then you're a terrible parent. How could you? And it's the same thing, the reaction she had when she found out they bought the $2,000 plane tickets because they were going to I think it was a cruise in Alaska.
Thank you for your time earlier.
I didn't appreciate the threat of being hung up on, told to shut up, and I do nothing for my son. Another example recorded why I did not want to call you. After you made me aware that you just purchased plane tickets that cost $2,000 and will not be adding funds to my commissary account for the second week, I explained to you I am a part of your budget. I am a part of your budget and should automatically be included in your spending and am doing without needs because you did not. Also, for your $2,000 plane tickets, you have not even mentioned or said to me your plans and intentions of where you are taking my son. Please explain so I know and have a right to. Nonetheless, I am his mother, no matter where I am. I explained to you I need stamps, pens, and paper, and cookies for my blood sugar. I need these and was told I would have to wait until you are paid Friday for anything to be added. Next week is the third week you have not added to my commissary account. I explained to you also I am in the negative in my commissary account, and by next week will be close to $50 in the negative from you not providing funds. And instead of being joyful and happy that her child's going to have a once-in-a-lifetime experience, she said that money could have been mine. How dare you? And she even brought up the plane tickets and trips and the effing bidet in one of the released phone calls. Meaning even after all this time, it still grates at her. I'm pretty sure, I don't know, that message that I just read was in 2014, 2013, something like that. And now in 2015, on that phone, she is still bitter that they took that trip to Alaska, which she now says they didn't take anyway. But I guess they just spent $2,000 on plane tickets on trips they didn't go. And if that happened, I'm pretty sure they got back the $2,000, or they just went and didn't tell you, which is what I would do.
You don't understand how vindictive is. The things that he has said to me on the phone in front of how he used to make me feel when I was married to him, his entire family. And now I'm in prison where they can all clap and do backflips and double high-five each other. God, he spent $2,000 on a fucking bidet. Do you understand that? Because he can't wipe his ass properly, he bought a bidet. And then nonetheless, his bathroom was so filthy, he put it in bathroom. And I'll never forget, like, Mom, I hate that he uses my bathroom when he has his own bathroom and won't clean it, and nonetheless bought a bidet that hated. $2,000 on a bidet, but couldn't pay me alimony? Not even $25. Hell, give me 15, just throw me something. But he bought a bidet. And then told me about it. And then ended up getting a new car, got all new everything, got the new house, got everything. He's got like $4,000 in Nintendo shit. Like, you don't understand.
Yeah.
Buys.
Right.
I don't know. I just know that he's got $2,000 to spend on the bidet, $2,000 to buy plane tickets for a trip that they never took, $4,000 in, Nintendo stuff and VR, and they go to movies and they go out to eat all the time. Just they're living large. They're living large, okay?
And she hates it. She can't stand that they're, quote, living large, which, I don't believe that split the middle, but let's just say they are. She can't stand it. She can't stand the idea of her son not suffering while she's suffering in prison for her actions that they did not cause. She believes because she's in prison, everyone else needs to suffer along with her, prioritize her, make sure that she feels nice, safe, happy, comfortable, loved, all the things she didn't give George or didn't allow him to have or experience. And now it's this wild injustice because she's uncomfortable.
Like, I could have been living comfortably.
Yeah.
Being like shaky and dysfunctional and
just the resentment and all this Nintendo shit and the VR and the this and the that, and they eat out all the time and da 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 da. which she's truly mad because then also revealed in the phone calls that she was outside for a doctor's visit or something like that, and she got to see the real world, and she's like, it was so torturous seeing the real world, and I saw all the fast food places, and I saw that the receptionist was doing this, and I could do that too. I could do everything that she's doing.
Good. What's going on? You all right?
Just
What's that?
outside the real world for like however many hours, and it's just heartbreaking.
You what?
Like,
Say it again, Sarah. What happened?
nothing. Fine. Just I was out in the real world in a real car and saw like fast food places and just life happening. And just it's very frustrating. So I just don't feel like walking out and crying all the time. Just I don't know how much more of this I can take.
Is it long? Because I don't know how much I can take.
No.
I don't know how much I can take. I don't want to watch it, please.
Which it never quite hit me before, except for like a few days ago. But I realized that after she said this of, I don't want to watch that anymore, and it cut off right there, as he was saying, Sarah again, that's all she ever saw until she finally got her discovery. I mean, she was there, so obviously she knew what she actually said, because I'm sure those memories came crashing back when you're actually behind a prison cell and have nothing to do but recount your actions and think about what you've done and try to come up with lies to avoid responsibility or accountability. But if she did really forget it, she has no idea what the rest of that video said. So she's over here saying it wasn't intentional, it wasn't this wasn't that, this wasn't this. She had no idea the whole time she's yelling at him. I mean, the detectives allude to it, but she didn't hear it, about that's how I feel when you cheat on me. That's how I feel when you choke me. F you, that's on you, wiggle around some. In that cryptic shh at the very end. So in her mind for years, when she's talking about the suitcase video and this and that,
why has a gag order never been implemented? My case has turned into an unnecessary witch hunt from the innumerable violations of my case details being leaked and racketeered illegally in exchange for website hits, viewer ratings, etc. In exchange for money. What is your cut, Your Honor? It's all about how much rather than how did it happen, no matter the destruction caused in the meantime and is irreparable. It's not even about the suitcase anymore.
And she continues, my case is now a global event with, quote, the video receiving over 3 million hits, depending on the website. In turn, making me realize that there's over 3 million less unprejudiced, unbiased, non-discriminatory, fair jurors. She doesn't realize that everyone in the world, those 3 million viewers, one, doesn't mean it's 3 million people. Two, doesn't mean they all live in Orange County, Florida and can't be a juror. But whatever. All she has is the moment until she made them stop. And she definitely didn't see the second video where she zoomed in tighter, only solidifying her guilt, amplifying her cruelty, and ultimately solidifying her sentence of life in prison.
Court sentences you to life in the Department of Corrections.
Which is why it's insane when she got up there or like in the hearings and it's like, I'm just trying to show everyone who I am instead of the vicious murderer everyone assumes I am. And you would have assumed it too if you watched both of those videos all the way through. Don't try it. But that's neither here nor there. Just thought that was interesting. Because now, after the fact, she's appreciating all the things that she took advantage of before. Now it's, oh, I can do everything that that lady did at the job. You know, the job I refused to get for 2 years.
And when I tell you,
That's fine.
I have old newspapers and rust in my drawer. I have nothing to even trade somebody. Nonetheless, so you can see me. Like,
yeah,
I
totally.
need something in my life, or otherwise I'm going to go effing insane. I can't explain it to you, and I'm really trying to keep it together. But after today, and a taste of what real life is out there, and to see everybody, you know, functioning normally and everything, it's very difficult for me, and I'm trying very hard to keep it together.
But so what did you see? You saw like people walking around?
Everything.
Yeah.
Traffic, people working. The office that I was in was like the office that I worked at. And I was thinking that I could do all of this that the one girl was doing and just...
Yes, you could have done her job. You had a background in reception work, and then you mentioned narcissism and that she meets some of the traits for narcissism. Narcissistic personality disorder traits, correct. Okay, tell me what criteria she exhibits that tends to meet her as a narcissist. Just her presentation, the way that she describes some of her milestones in her life, in herself, in her actions, was in an overly kind of self-grandiose manner, so to speak. Like when I asked her, for example, how far she had gone in school, rather than say, I'm a high school graduate, she said, well, I was about to sit for the entrance exam for college when my father died. So she has some insecurities because she didn't go to college, but she presents it in a different light. The majority of her employment was a receptionist type job, which she would describe as being a front desk person. And then she continued to always describe herself almost every single position as the assistant to the office manager or the assistant to the owner of the company. So it was kind of elevating her position, although she was kind of that front desk person by her description.
People working. The office that I was in was like the office that I worked at. And I was thinking that I could do all of this that the one girl was doing and just...
That's exactly what you could have done. You refused to. If you went to work, you probably wouldn't have killed George that day. You wouldn't have had time to, because like most people, you would have responsibilities that do not extend just to you getting alcohol and checking in with your son. But now it's the outside world I saw, and it just hurts so much. That's why she can't stand them spending money on things that bring them joy and not on things that bring her joy. She doesn't believe she has to earn anything. It should all be assumed and given willingly and gleefully. No. But she point blank period says it. And I had mentioned this before of she's mad that $2,000 plane ticket could have gone to her. She didn't care that could have gone to her child and he could have had a great time. She says, me, me, me. She does not care about taking money, experiences, time, resources away from that child if it makes her feel better even a little bit. And in the phone call, she overinflates how much they have and says that Brian's family is giving him $250,000 to $500,000 a year. Either a CEO's salary or two CEO's salary. Who knows? It's like a humongous range. That's a range of $250,000.
$2,000 on a bidet, but couldn't pay me alimony? Not even $25. Hell, give me 15. Just throw me something. But he got a bidet. And then told me about it.
How much does his parents give him a year?
Between $250,000 and $500,000.
A year? How does that...
Why do you think that they married to him for so long?
How does that money come?
Stocks and bonds.
He's going to have to...
It's old money.
Which doesn't make a lick of sense. And I'm glad Peter actually pushed back on that of like, how on earth is he getting $250,000 to $500,000 a year? Oh, it's old money, stocks and bonds. That's not how that works. I get it, they don't have financial literacy in jail, but come on now. Stocks and bonds are assets, not actual income. He would have to sell said stocks and bonds, which then would decrease their value and prevent him from making future money down the line. Only after he sells the stocks and bonds, receives the money, which would then be a taxable income, would that count as income. Receiving gifts and having a rich family does not mean that is your income, unless they are legally and officially paying him, saying, here's your allowance salary for the year of $250,000, then it's not income, thus not reportable for alimony, thus it doesn't belong to you.
With your broke ass.
I don't believe that to begin with, because then you should have been a millionaire this entire time. And if he had $250,000 to $500,000 for all these years, you would have been getting more than $1,000 a month in alimony. A calculator online said that if he was making around $250,000 to $500,000, you would have been getting $8,000 to $14,000 a month in alimony and around $1,000 to $2,000 a month for child support alone. So if any of these numbers were to be accurate, you should be close to the $18,000 to $20,000 range a month. And since you were getting only $1,000 a month with $100 in child support, that means his income was around $55,000 to $75,000, says the internet. Which is exactly how much he claimed in the trial. He claimed an income of $60,000. But you're saying that I guess they waited until after you were arrested and put away for life in order to give him this money? That would have meant that they thought you were a gold digger from the start. And they said, no, you're not getting all of our money because she's just going to waste it.
Hide the money, y'all. There's poor people around. With your broke ass.
Which, seconds later in the phone call, she says, why do you think I stayed married to him for so long?
How does that?
Why do you think I stayed married to him for so long?
How does that money come?
Stocks and bonds.
He's gonna have to.
It's old money. Why do you think I've been seriously adamant about this financial affidavit and then his bank statements for the last 5 years of everything that he paid for? Unless he has an $8,800 Uber Eats credit card that almost pushed him into bankruptcy. Do you understand that also? Uber Eats.
But how is he?
$1,000.
But Sarah, how is he getting $250,000 and $500,000 a year, and he's getting pushed into bankruptcy? That doesn't make any sense.
So I believe split the difference. I believe that his family, or he does come from some kind of money. I do not believe they gave him this much money, nor did he have access to this much money. And even if he did, it doesn't mean she has access. Your family's wealth does not equal your income. She can only get alimony based off of his income. If he had all these hundreds of thousands of dollars, that would show up in his financial affidavit, in his tax returns. The IRS would be collecting tens of thousands of dollars every year. It's just such an obvious bold-faced lie that it's embarrassing. Linda, you could not be more spot on. It just reads flat, fake, desperate. It's all bull. It all feels hollow. And it's just more ways that she can complain to say, I have nothing. They have everything. I think she says, they're living large. They're living large.
You know, they go to movies and they go out to eat all the time. Just, they're living large. They're living large, okay?
And she can't stand it. She gets mad they go on trips, but she also wants you to bring the camera so she can get the selfie. To Brian, no promise baseball game for son. You stated, quote, it was sold out. When I had to call you, blank, phone charge so I can remind him to bring it with him for the selfies, blank, while there. They should bring or like send a postcard or a selfie to her for every over-the-top excursion they go to. No description, no explanation, just a picture of y'all at the Wizards game, just a picture of y'all at the Super Bowl, just a picture of y'all skydiving, bungee jumping, anything that she can't do. You all have a great time. Send her that picture on the tablet, never physical copy, just so she can see it on that tablet of y'all having a great time. Make sure that the sun is kind of in the background and that Brian's in the forefront of anything and you can kind of see the sun peeking out the back. Chef's kiss. Now to get back to what we were actually talking about, which I forgot was this fourth random page. This video is all over the place. Same thing here. Why would you even mention doing anything else on the weekends other than seeing me all day long so mother and son can be reunited? It's just going to feel so slimy when it actually happens, and I feel bad because I'm sure on many levels he misses her, the good side of her that he does interact with when she decides to show that, and the bad her comes out so many times that it's just going to taint any kind of I don't know, reaction like that, unless he has a really good emotional regulation system where he can compartmentalize a lot of things and kind of just ignore her outbursts, lash outs, and just ramblings and rantings, and understand that her outbursts have nothing to do with him and that it is all a her situation, then maybe he can go meet you and it not be an issue whatsoever and it not be awkward or anything like that. But when you finally do meet face to face after all of these years, unfortunately, I think everything that he's read about you, heard, and experienced from you in the way you talk to him over the past 5 years will come flooding back in. And it's going to be the first time is going to be awkward AF. And in situations like that, there's no way to avoid it. It takes the second, third time for things to feel a little more normal, and then people feel more comfortable to open up, and maybe that closeness is reignited. But after doing everything that she has done and hounded him relentlessly, trying to get her pawn son in front of her, and this also showed up in the phone call that we just covered. When she's complaining about seeing everyone in the real world, she also complains about Brian doesn't let her see her son. He still hasn't filled out the application, and it's killing her.
You guys are killing me right now.
You know, the murderer, the person who kills people, not seeing her son is killing her. Don't think about George's children who haven't seen their father. This is killing her because she can't see her son due to her own actions.
Well, if it isn't the consequences of my own actions. What's up? What's up? Trying to...
So I have to wait 60 more days. Still hasn't put in the application, and it's killing me.
You guys are killing me right now.
Like, killing me. That he won't put the application in.
Does he have to or no? Because you put the contempt in and then they put a continuance in.
What are you talking about? I'm talking about my son's visitation application to come see me.
To come see me, And it's absolutely torture. And she literally threatens his life in there too. She goes, he better hope he never sees me in person.
Nothing's been set in stone, and he won't let me see my son, and I swear to God, like, he better hope he doesn't ever see me in person, because this is really killing me.
Yeah, he's dead.
It's awful, I know.
Okay.
It's awful.
I'm like, yeah, because the convicted killer should be threatening someone over a recorded jail phone call. And also, Cranick could have listened to this call before sentencing. I doubt that he will, but he has access to it.
And I just want to see him, and wants to see me really bad, and just, I'm really going crazy. Like, I really am going crazy. Really going crazy.
Everyone supposes that this is one of the worst experiences of my life, and it's actually been one of my greatest.
She thinks everything will be accomplished and fixed if she can just lay eyes on her son. Yet she lives in the delusional world that her plan is what's actually going to foster a feeling of affections.
Okay. And again, my plan was not to leave him in the
And what was your plan?
There can be no true deep feelings of affections until you truly apologize to that boy for everything you've done to him and for everything you've put him through.
For everything you've done.
To him.
For everything you've done.
To him.
Fuck you.
Until you actually learn what I'm sorry means and how to actually express and feel that to your son, because the whole world knows when it's hollow. Case in point, we're looking at her sentencing as a background video where it was nothing but fake words that felt like acid spewing from her mouth. Her final F you to everyone who wronged her.
Thing is, though, it's a professional fuck you. Excuse me. It's a professional fuck you.
And I keep thinking about what I heard on one of Hear Me Out's videos, because he was at the courthouse during the family court trial and said that during one of the lull parts that he could overhear Brian talking with his lawyer. And at one part, I can't remember the context of how this came up, but he said that all George's family wanted from Sarah was an I'm sorry. And then Brian said something along the lines that I'm sorry does not exist within her. And we see it. She viciously murders someone in one of the cruelest ways documented in the 21st century. And she says, "I forgive you." Exactly, Linda. You are spot on. She had the audacity to unhinge her jaw and spew out the venom of "I forgive you."
Withholding forgiveness denies your brilliance and adds even greater grief and deeper heartache. Irreparable cracks on top of the already that no one deserves, no matter the pain or disappointment, untruths or injustice. It doesn't matter. As the more broken you are, even though now different than before, you've become more outstanding and more extraordinary. In my criminal case, as a result, my opportunities to be given a fair, proper, and uninfluenced, successful conclusion was heavily depleted and poisoned. I forgive them. Also, all of the media tycoons for not having a life of their own, trying so desperately to make themselves seem so right by making me appear so wrong. Forgiveness for prejudgment, ridiculous theatrics, lies, making and taking blood money from my and others' misfortunes, accidents, and catastrophes. It's all over their hands and their keyboards. And even after all that's been said and done, theorized, hypothesized, scrutinized, and blasphemed, in my case, still no one knows me.
She's not sorry about a damn thing that she has ever done to anyone else. But God forbid you look at her sideways. It's just mind-blowing. So then in all of these messages and all of these letters for years and years and years, when she complains over every little scenario about how it is so unfair, how these are life-changing documents and no one's listening and no one is providing her with care, you said fuck you to George's grave and spit in his family's face. So why are you surprised? And it's just this sustained pattern of if you make her feel bad, she is justified in torturing you until you treat her the way she wants you to treat her.
It truly reminds me that all I really did live through. George haunts me. He is everywhere. I believe because I do still love him, think of him, and miss his laugh the most. In my heart, I know he is with me and understands that this tragedy was not intentional. I hope everyone can, his family foremost. I didn't mean for this to happen. Please wholeheartedly know that, and always, I would never. Forgive me, George. Forgive me, Torres family. Forgive me, Judge Cranick. To the entire planet, please forgive me. I graciously and humbly ask for consideration, for forgiveness to be extended instead of judgment, for reconciliation and restoration for all of us to move forward. My apology is profuse and ceaseless. Allow me, please, to brush off the muck, wipe the blood off of my face, and fix the cuts in my skin. I ask for understanding in what really happened and for how long. For second chances, repentance, and redemption.
And none of that sounded like a genuine apology. She squeaked the word in there saying my apology is profuse, but 90% of it is her instructing everyone to forgive her. She doesn't have to acknowledge anything. You want second chances, redemption, and repentance, and this and that. Repentance and redemption require remorse, which to this day you haven't shown an ounce of it. And I remember seeing this on one of Summa Cum Laude's videos about Owens basically begging her at sentencing to show some remorse. Because she's sitting there, she's laughing, she's smiling, she's looking around because this is her stage and she has to show everyone how unbothered she is and that she is the one who is always in control, not realizing what a true monster she looks like. And never truly understands the situation she's in and is shocked that everyone treats her the way that they should treat her based off of someone who responds and acts the way that she does. When your lawyer is begging you to show remorse, how are you surprised you got a life sentence?
Court sentences you
Electric chair.
Holy shit. To life in the Department of Corrections.
There are plenty of murderers who have not shown remorse. Normally, they keep their mouths closed and don't say anything.
I would like to say something.
Go ahead.
I'm innocent. You all, you're garbage.
Absolutely, Your Honor.
Ms. Fowler, I don't know that that's appropriate here.
Sorry I told you what somebody else can.
But truly, one of the worst mitigating statements I've ever heard in my life. And that's when she knows the entire world is watching her. And she wrote that statement again and again. This is just the tip of the iceberg.
I had a lot to say. I've had a lot of time to think about things, and I didn't really know how to put it on paper. And I didn't know how much I could say or how little I should say. So what I have here is, like I said, an edited version. But I would like to read the more important parts that I feel that everyone should know that wasn't said in my actual trial. And on top of what I have on paper, this is just the tip of the tip of the tip of the iceberg.
She had all these things she wanted to say, and this is how she says it, and this is what she says. You can only imagine how she actually treats her son. She wants to say Brian teaches and sets a bad example. You set the worst example with your behavior through that entire trial. So there really is no winning with someone like this. And I try to be very open-minded, and some kind of compromising is my default setting, but you can't compromise with someone like this because she will manipulate and take advantage of it until she gets what she wants. And because she only wants horrible, abusive things, it keeps blowing up in her face, and she has no idea why. Well, I can tell you why.
Why is this happening?
Because George is dead.
In continued elevation of the relationship with her son, and in his best interest, and in accordance with Perez v. Perez, stating restriction on parenting time must serve the child's best interest, not the parent's convenience or preference. Respondent requests this honorable court to order 1. Respondent to be included in all aspects, including major decisions, unless emergency, proposed travel, appointments, meetings, everything pertaining to her son's life, so she is aware what his status is overall and continually. Which is absurd, right? Like, not even regular divorce, separated custody parents have that much continual updated information about their child in the way that she wants that continual updated information about her child. It is all or nothing. She needs to be included on everything. And why does she need to be updated on everything? So that she is aware, so that she is included, which goes directly against the Perez v. Perez case. She kept saying this all has to be in the best interest of the child, yet every single thing she says is her. I can't believe she has the audacity to say not on a parent's convenience or preference when this is all her preference. She would prefer more contact with her son. She would prefer he actually love her the way she wants him to love her. These are not legal requirements, and that is not in the best interest of the child, but in the best interest of his murdering mother's feelings. And it's with such confidence that she writes included in all aspects, including major decisions. Doesn't define what that is. She can't make major decisions because she cannot be updated. She has to, which just means it would justify her calling 10,000 times a day because she has to be continually updated. And since you can't reach out to me, I have to reach out to you. And anytime I reach out to you, you need to give me every update imaginable and add more commissary. Everything pertaining to her son's life. That phrasing just holds an ownership that I'm uncomfortable with. It is that helicopter parent, that Life 360 parent to the absolute max extreme. You know, the type of parent she never was on the outside. But because her feelings have changed. Now that she can't get drunk every day and she can't go this, she can't go that, she can't do all the real world things that she was so obsessed with and that she prioritized over her son before she murdered a caretaker of his who lived under the same roof.
You know, George was the one I always seen driving the vehicle. George is the one I always seen playing with the child. You know.
Did you ever buy him any baseball bats or anything?
I bought one for over here that Sarah said for and George to like play with or something.
Never saw Sarah outside playing with her kid, ever.
Now that all that's changed, all of her expectations change, and yours should change along with her. She is literally asking for Brian to be forced to make her more involved than she ever was. There's no evidence on the outside she was ever concerned about all of these appointments, all of this, and this, that. Why did you leave your child at school so many times when you literally had no job? Your only job was to take care of your child.
Where I don't want to drink. I don't want to drink. The occasional wine, whatever, or if it's a weekend. That's when you have a good time. You don't have to wake up the next day. I have to wake up the next day and do things. I have to tend to, I have to take him to school. I have all this stuff to do.
I don't want to get in trouble.
Why are you getting in trouble? If he contacts you.
I got in trouble last time.
One last time.
I gotta take my son to school tomorrow. Sleep in my bed. It's not fair.
Why would you have a question about whether or not she was picking him up?
She wasn't generally very good about actually getting him on the day she was supposed to.
So it was not uncommon for you to have to remind her to pick him up or to make sure that she was going to pick him up?
Well, I mean, remind or just find out if she was going to or if she was just going to give him over to me as what happened.
My ex-husband is notorious for bringing my son over in very inopportune times.
Brian, because I was supposed to have my son today to pick him up from school, Brian usually calls to make sure, hey, are you sure you're getting today? Because I've had job interviews.
Right.
So after he called, like, maybe 3, 4 times, maybe 5, I finally answered, and that's, like...
Do you think you were sleeping and missed those calls?
No, I ignored them.
You ignored them?
Because he's notorious for blowing up my phone.
I mean, I just wanted to ensure that he would not bring my son over in the process of all of this.
Heard my phone ringing, and I knew it was Brian because he called over and over and over and over again, which is what he does.
So you assumed it was him, but you didn't know Brian was calling you, but you assumed it was Brian?
Yes, because he calls back to back to back to back to back to back. That's why I actually didn't finally answer.
Okay.
Brian Boone, notorious for doing things like nagging and calling all the time. You remember your testimony calling people notorious for doing things?
Yes.
What would you say people would say you're notorious for?
I don't know.
And you would not answer Brian Boone, your ex-husband's phone calls just so that you could let him know that you're busy and you have things going on, correct?
I knew that at whatever time it was that he was calling me, that he could wait for the few moments of me getting up to where he gets out of school at 3 o'clock.
Okay. But you wouldn't return his call. You would let him call several times, correct?
That day, yes.
Okay. How about other days? Would he have to call to remind you to get on other days?
He wasn't reminding me. He was just making sure that was covered for pickup or drop off.
It was for pickup, which the fact that she didn't even know that then in of itself is crazy. Sure, 5 years ago, but you know that you didn't take him to school because you were too busy cleaning up the murder you committed. But I digress. You made your job to police, take care of, and control George.
I've really helped him. I've bailed him out of jail, 3 times. I've gone to every single hearing and every single arraignment, everything that I did for him.
I mean, is there any chance it got to be too much for you and you couldn't handle taking care of him and...
I never stopped. I never stopped. That's what I'm here for. I never stopped. I'm
I'm here now because I'm still trying to help him. Yeah, we just don't, I mean, it's unexplainable how he got these injuries, and
I have no idea.
you were the only one with him.
100% right hand to God. I have no idea how he got them. Nobody touched anybody. Nobody touched anybody. I've gone to see all his public defenders, go to the state. I've gone to the state. I did everything for him because I'm trying to help him, because I had hope in him. And he was trying. He was really trying. I try to evoke it from him so he gets it off his chest, because I call him the volcano where eventually he's going to erupt.
Right.
And what he has learned in his classes is to communicate, which is a huge thing in a relationship, where he has been practicing communication. So he actually talks to me about things and unburdens himself. Put it on me. I'll sit there and try and figure it out for you, like I have almost everything. Not a worry. Just tell me. Get it out of you. They're not messing around. I even went down and met his probation officer, which I say she's wonderful. That's one of my questions too I need to talk to you about. Hugged me and said how much she knows that I take care of him. She called me personally one time when George was at work, when he was working. 42-minute phone call. She and I just saying how grateful she is that George has me. And she knows how hard I'm working to help him, just as she is and just as the classes will.
And that's why you're still with him, even though he's done all these things to you. And
when I tell you I love him, I love him.
When you love somebody, you have limits.
Everybody tells me that. All my neighbors still tell me that. The office, property manager. Well, it's not like, again, I don't think you all understand. Like, it's not that was not my intention.
Well,
y'all don't have any idea what I've done for him.
But by your acts, and that's exactly right.
I did not intentionally kill him.
So your intention.
I don't know what it is I need to do, or how to do it, or what to say, or how to say it.
But what was your intention?
Everyone knows. Everyone knows everything that I've done for George, and love him, and continuously helped him throughout his life with me, and made him a happier, better person.
And everybody has their limits.
Everyone knows that.
Everybody has their limits.
So it's like, okay, so while we're in a good place right now, I'm going to snap? Is that what while we're in a good place right now?
Yes, absolutely. I got you on video screaming, fuck you.
I don't know what or how I can say it. I love George. Love him. To this day still. Love him.
Love makes you do crazy things.
It's not one of those things where it's like, oh gosh, you know what, I've done enough for you at this point. I never gave up on him.
Okay.
Why I'm here today, I'm still not giving up on him. I would do anything for him.
Well, you gave up checking up on him. So.
I wouldn't let him out of a suitcase.
Oh gosh.
But your actual job was being a parent. And when you had your chance, you blew it. And now that that's gone, it's everyone else's fault for not rising to the occasion you never met. But okay, let's break down this Perez v. Perez case and show that it is just so cringe that she is citing a case that cuts directly against her and frames everything she is saying against her, as though because she said it first, or because she said it the most confident, we're supposed to ignore the reality of the situation, which paints her in the worst light possible. So the Perez v. Perez case, it was this couple, they divorced naturally. They had 3 kids. The wife was awarded custody, and she wanted to move to Utah because they lived in Miami. 2 big culture shifts. And she actually got permission from the father to relocate to Utah. But in the meantime, while she was getting the house built, getting everything set up, getting her kids enrolled in schools, he had custody of the kids while she was going back and forth. And evidence showed at that time he was trying to convince the kids to want to overrule that custody agreement and stay in Miami with him. And so then there was this whole thing. He submitted that. The kids wrote a letter. The judge was like, oh, so the kids' wishes go against what was already pre-awarded, and the husband had a guardian ad litem appointed. You know, the thing that Sarah wants more than anything.
How many times that you can recall did I try to inquire about a guardian ad litem with you?
Objection, relevance.
All right, ma'am, can you repeat your question for me?
How many times did I attempt to obtain a guardian ad litem with him?
I'm going to sustain the objection. Next question.
To speak ill will, he has called me murderer and killerer in front of my son, which is another reason why I wanted to have a guardian ad litem, which has been denied, I believe, 3 times.
Respondent's motion for court appointment of guardian ad litem to preserve and protect her parental rights. For the appointment of a guardian ad litem due to the inappropriate allegations and repeated ongoing slander made by the petitioner regarding the surrounding circumstances of the respondent.
We, the jury, find the defendant guilty of murder in the 2nd degree.
Court sentences you to life in the Department of Corrections.
Guardian ad litem, 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 guardian ad litem.
And that guardian ad litem sided with him. However, the judge determined that a lot of the findings testified to and in the report were inadmissible hearsay, which is the only thing Sarah would have banked on. She wanted the guardian ad litem to, quote, prove that no such evidence exists that she's a danger to her child despite being in prison for a violent murder.
Court sentences you.
Electric chair.
Holy shit. God damn it.
Electrocute that bitch. And I want you to pour some water on her first.
And a guardian ad litem was going to set the record straight and change all of this. Well, the courts have discretion either way to accept or reject it. And if they find that any of the evidence that did support you was only inadmissible hearsay, you know, like the letters you tried to submit, the character witness letters you tried to submit in family court, as if you were appealing to the court in your mitigating statement saying, don't send me to prison for life, but also give me all the custody and money I want.
All right, anything else?
Number 31, respondent's witnesses letter.
So letter to whom it may concern.
These are my character witness letters.
Character witness letters? What do you mean? This isn't criminal court. You're not at sentencing and you have character witness letters where they are trying to say, hey, don't give her life in prison because she's actually not that terrible of a person. You think there are character witness letters for you getting alimony? And having more than 30-minute phone call with your son? Oh my goodness. The plot has been completely missed here.
It's your what letter? I'm sorry?
Character witness letters.
Objection, hearsay.
And next.
Was swiftly denied due to hearsay. All of that to say, that's exactly right, Linda. I got a little detoured. Let me get back on track and why this is actually important. So anyway, the judge decided to interview the kids on their own and found that the 2 sons actually did want to stay with the father while the daughter went with the mother in Utah. And this was based off of their own wants and desires, and he interviewed them and said that the kids were very articulate. It was also, one, above all everything, none of these parents were violent. No one was incarcerated. No one had a violent past. The children's physical well-being was never in question. And they both even admitted that each other were fit and proper parents, which then cuts against their desires later, but still, the exact opposite of Sarah Catherine Boone Paulsen.
You're eating my peach.
So then what happens, and there was just a barrage of motions going back and forth to the point where the appellate judge said that the appellate court is not based off of who has the most resources to put in the last filing. So it was just a mess. So even though the mother was initially awarded sole custody to move, the needs of the children and their stability made it to have that split kind of custody. So the mother comes back, says, I'm remarried. I need to have my children again because it would be detrimental and confusing to have them separated like this. And then to connect to what she is saying, she's saying, like, Sarah is citing that restrictions must only be in the best interest of the child, which also includes you have to prove that it would be more detrimental to keep the current custody agreement due to a new substantial change in circumstances. Her getting remarried is not enough because they had already decided that the two were living with the father, the one was living with the mother. Just because the mother got remarried does not mean that it is inherently more dangerous or detrimental to the children to remain with the father. So what they were saying is that even though she was the custodial parent, does not mean she gets to take her two sons away without proving anything that it would be detrimental to the child to maintain the current custody agreement, which was modified to 1 split. In this case, you have the exact opposite, where keeping the current custody agreement means technically Brian every Monday, Tuesday, and every other weekend should be dropping his son outside of prison for Sarah to come get him and have her time-sharing visitation for the time that she is supposed to have under the current custody arrangements and parenting plan. But no, she wants you to forget all of that, absolve her of all of her responsibility, absolve her of all of her accountability, ignore the consequences she is facing for her own violent actions, and still give her everything she wants because she is the one who is still being victimized. Which the irony in that is the way she victimizes herself so much would actually make her an unfit parent. If you are going through so much, if you are dealing with so much in life that you can barely function, that everything in your life is going wrong, you can't take care of a child. So even in this fictitious world, CPS would be involved and say, hey, you're neglecting your kid because you can't take care of yourself. But yeah, that's the Perez case more or less. And it's just crazy because it's like, do you expect Judge Jackson, not to read these if she doesn't already know them already? Wild work. 2. Petitioner to communicate and cooperate properly with respondent via telephone and tablet messages, to have any questions answered or concerns addressed about her son, or to update petitioner about changes in her life they both need to be made aware of. Girl, don't nobody care about the updates in your life that people need to be made aware of. If you have updates, just send him a tablet message. He said he reads them all. But you want the court to force him to communicate with you properly and cooperatively. Who defines that? You. Via telephone, tablet messages, have any questions, third-party representatives, all this and all that. No. This is not about you trying to be informed or included in your son's life. This is about control. You want to order Brian, when you say jump, he better answer the phone and say how high. I'm just trying to think of like, what are these updates that she would have? Like maybe if you move to another prison cell, or your updates would be, they don't have delicious delights. They have tantalizing treasures now. They have updates on these hot meals and this and that. Which, side note, also I came up with some other titles after tantalizing treasures. We also have savory sensations, mouth-watering morsels, canteen cravings, opulent offerings, mischievous munchies, and for her coffee-addicted self, caffeinated comforts. All things she doesn't deserve, but would ask people religiously to get her. But anyway, she believes that she is entitled to force Brian into communicating with her anytime she wants. That is insane. 3. Regular open communication in telephone calls between mother and son upon child's availability. 4. Regular open communication in tablet messages between mother and son, with credits to utilize features to send pictures and as alternative to phone calls. 5. in-person visits 1 to 2 times per month with maximum allowable time permitted by the facility. 6. Petitioner to complete a co-parenting class and attend counseling of his choice, focused on parental alienation and communication strategies to promote a positive future as parents to their son, and in his best interest. You trying to say this is about his best interest at the final second does not make it so. This last part is so damaging to her. She brings up this, he needs to take classes on parental alienation. He needs to take this course. He needs to take this class.
And I believe that I would like to suggest that the some type of co-parenting course or counseling in regards to how to treat the other parent, which he has already taken, but back in 2018 upon our original divorce. So he can be reminded, please, on how to treat the other parent and also look out for our son's emotional distress that he has been causing him by calling me names and not speaking to me and giving me the silent treatment.
Emotional distress that he has been causing him by calling me names and not speaking to me and giving me the silent treatment.
We took this class after we got a divorce, and he should take it again. Looks horrible for her case, and she has no idea. She has no idea that judges see this tactic constantly. Every single week, there is a vengeful parent who blames the other one, accuses them of being the unstable bad parent, and says they need to be in counseling. They need to be better. It does not look like you are coming forth and with a good faith effort basis argument, what have you, when you say he is the only one who needs to change. Madam, you are the one in prison for a violent murder. If anyone needs to be in therapy, it is Sarah Boone Paulsen.
You're eating my peach.
Cupcake. I don't want a cupcake.
Every therapist would run for the hills as soon as she opens her mouth for more than 5 minutes, but still, it is as obvious as can be. And it's primarily the abusive parents who do this. And it 100% gives it away when you aren't willing to do it yourself. You are coming forward with at least more good faith when you say, we should have to retake counseling courses. We should take a co-parenting course on parental alienation so we can move forward and co-parent together. Nope. She says she's perfect. I'm doing everything right. He needs to learn how to communicate and treat me right. And a judge will never assign classes to just one parent. It would be to both parents, if anything. And she wants it, like I've mentioned before, she wants it so she can have it documented that you're a piece of shit and an abusive parent to me. And you had to take classes just so you can learn how to be right. Because that's exactly what she did with George. She weaponized classes against him and then tried to flip it in the interrogation and say, oh my goodness, he's been doing so well. He's been going to classes, so he actually talks to me. But
Because I call him the volcano where eventually he's going to erupt.
Right.
And what he has learned in his classes is to communicate. Mm-hmm. Which is a huge thing in a relationship, right. Where he has been practicing communication. So he actually talks to me about things and unburdens himself. Put it on me. I'll sit there and try and figure it out for you like I have almost everything. Mm-hmm. Not a worry. Just tell me. Get it out of you with, okay, you know what? We're here. It is a good day. Let me go ahead and explain myself. So I know. Nobody else knows, but I know. Nobody knew George better than I did. I say that I knew George better than himself. I had him bailed out. I got him out of jail.
Right.
But because he had violated the pretrial diversion, this time it's probation, so you don't have a choice in it. You have to go to see your probation officer. You have to go to these classes. It's court ordered. Mm-hmm. Where it took him a while to get used to it and understand, they're not messing around. I even went down and met his probation officer, which I say she's wonderful. That's one of my questions too I need to talk to you about. Hugged me and said how much she knows that I take care of him. She called me personally one time when George was at work, when he was working. 42-minute phone call. She and I just saying how grateful she is that George has me. And she knows how hard I'm working to help him, just as she is and just as the classes will. So once he started actually going on a regular basis to the probation officer and then to his substance abuse class and his, I don't know what BIP stands for, Batterers Intervention Program, and actually listening to what it is everyone had to say, he changed. Like I could see a change in him, where before lashing out, he would think about it. And would always come home and show me his papers, and we would look over his papers together. Where it's like, wow, you actually are learning this in class? And some of the stuff that they would show them, like videos, he would come home and be like, Sarah, I'm so sorry for what I've done to you. Because for a video that he watches to make him feel that way, where it's like, oh man, I have done her wrong. But he's changed. He changed.
And that's why you're still with him, even though he's done all these things to you. And
when I tell you I love him, I love him.
Even when you love somebody, you have limits.
everybody tells me that. All my neighbors don't tell me that. The office property manager.
Meanwhile, in their personal life, she's saying, F you. Go get your R-word paper, you idiot.
Go get your fucktard shit.
What are you talking about?
Your retard paper. Don't hit women.
Don't hit women. This class was supposed to teach you how to be a better person. Why aren't you doing better? Well, looks like I have to call the police again. And the cycle never ended. Did she take anger management? No. Did she take domestic abuse classes? No. Despite her being domestically violent herself multiple times, including an arrest. Having charges drop does not mean you weren't arrested and charged. It shows you don't take any responsibility or accountability for your own actions. You are in prison for life. At minimum, I mean, you have nothing else to do. You should sign up and say, please give me some classes. Give me something to do. But in your mind, that would make it seem like you have any faults to correct. And according to you, you're still the perfect angel. No one understands you. No one listens. Excuse the bodies. Excuse the drinking. Excuse the harassment. She's a perfect, outstanding mother.
I don't think you all understand who I am. Where,
Okay. Well, tell me.
I mean, I've always been a straight-A student. I am an outstanding mother to my son.
An outstanding mother to my son.
Okay. I excel at everything.
No. And then backtracking to she wants regular open communication and telephone calls and tablet messages to be provided with her son, between mother and son. What she also doesn't get is the judge cannot force Brian to pay for all of this unlimited communication at all. The fact that he has done any of it has been a gift to you. You squandering the alimony you got for 2 years and being broke and having to call Brian even to the day before you murdered George and asking for money because your account was in the negative.
She said her account was in the negative, so I transferred her a little bit of money to get her out of the negative.
She sent you, oh, that was the morning. Okay, so she thanked you at 11:56 that morning.
Yeah.
Right.
And now we know that at 12:30, George and Sarah went to go buy their first magnum-sized bottle of wine.
Ma'am, using the laser pointer, could you please identify the victim and the defendant on this video?
This is the defendant, and this is the victim.
You can advance the video.
So she says she's in the red from the night before, and then at 11:56, when she, I guess, finally woke up, realized he did send the money and said thank you. Within the half hour, they were in that store getting alcohol. Is not Brian's fault, and no court on this planet is going to make it his problem. If y'all were still married when you got arrested, if you had joint accounts, if you were solely living off of him to the moment when you got arrested, then maybe you can have more arguments. But you chose not to get a job.
And does she or George have a job?
No.
She hasn't worked for over 2 years. Well, I guess you could maybe call when he's got a job. He worked at the Ace Hardware up across the street here.
Okay.
Which is now going out of business.
Okay.
He kind of off and on worked there. When he did work, it was 15, 20 hours a week, something like that. I mean, my alimony and stuff basically pays for where they live. So, I mean, they didn't need a ton, but, I mean, she was always calling to borrow money. And it's been like 2 years since she got a job. She keeps on telling me she's looking. She's always finding good opportunities and everything, but...
Brian, because I was supposed to have my son today to pick him up from school. Brian usually calls to make sure, hey, are you sure you're getting today? Because I've had job interviews.
Right.
Because, like you told George, you said that he should be a man and take care of you.
I don't give a shit either. I worked for that birth certificate, voter's registration, and your ID card. Just because your name is on them doesn't make them yours. Even paid for them. I needed you to be a man and take care of me, not beat me, call me names, and make me feel like I'm not a person. Not giving back until I have mine.
And that's exactly how you've acted. You believe that this
broke ass
woman is supposed to just sit back, do nothing, get paid all day, every day, and that because she popped a baby out, she doesn't have to do anything. Doesn't have to be responsible, doesn't have to pay for anything, should have everything done for her. Doesn't matter if she killed anyone, because she's still the mother to her son.
I would like to say that my incarceration has nothing to do with me as being a human being and a mother to my son. It's not fair to me that just because I'm here, it doesn't justify how I've been treated and excluded. One obscure enforcement incident does not define me as a person or my entire existence.
One obscure, unfortunate incident does not define me as a person or my entire existence. And again, one incident does not define me or my entire existence.
One obscure enforcement incident does not define me as a person or my entire existence. And I'm trying to be my son's best advocate for myself. Each parent and everything they're supposed to abide by regarding being appropriate to the other parent, regardless of incarceration or not. That's what I was trying to say. I've been excluded this entire time, and everyone has blamed my incarceration on it, which it shouldn't be like that because I'm still the mother of my son regardless of where I am.
So if you want all these calls, if you want all these tablet messages, you need to beg your other flying monkeys. And what I found out at this moment in filming, Peter is no longer a flying monkey. He skedaddled as soon as he had enough because you have proven yourself you can't change. And I'll read his message towards the end because, baby, he ate her up. But yeah, beg all your other flying monkeys for money so that you can make all these relentless, endless phone calls, which the judge can limit that. She can prevent you. If anything, with the tablet messages and phone calls, I think there are some family communication systems that are partnered with the police that they normally default to because that way the court can monitor exactly everything that she says to her son. And if they see those messages that she has sent before on those tablet messages, I'm not going to be dehumanized by you any longer. It's a choice. You blank gifts whenever your father decides to
send me money.
Order. It's the middle of February, blank, and I have no resources, family, or money. Money. You have all and do nothing, blank, this year. Make a video visit telling me you were going to your blank in any way. And after last year lying about making me a card, February 14th, 2023, Valentine's Day card. Former husband collaborated with my 12-year-old son to lie to me about making me a card. Both said they went to craft store and bought supplies. My gift to son. Had son sit down Sunday afternoon, quote, and make, then mailed the completed card the next day. I was told my son wrote me a letter and drew something nice for me. I was really going to like it. It was all a lie. They never went or did any of it. What an awful, unnecessary lie. For no reason. Nonetheless, former husband had my son part of the awful lie. How disgusting and hurtful. No card ever. B. May 14th, 2023. Mother's Day card. Former husband has told me 3 times now my son has mailed my created card. Nothing has come. Another despicable lie. Why? So hurtful, and son included. For the blank, father won't even let me have a hot meal. Ever. And keeps lying he blank to want to be a weatherman when you were younger. Here's your chance, blank, about by you. Know that. You're the one in charge. I tried calling 9 times today, 8 yesterday, just for you to yell and not care as usual while typing on your computer. Blank, stupid, uncaring response your father gives me, then hangs up on. Blank, to talk to you. What would you do if I didn't care? Why do I have to a blank? The difference with that is that I will always care and never blink. Me, your mother, nonetheless. But through this other messaging service, then they can cut that off and say, great, you've shown us exactly the type of parent you are, and you need less access to your abuse victim. I know we are still all waiting for this judge's order, but wow, she really has no idea what she's in for. That's right, Linda. You may know what she's in for, but she doesn't. Lastly, the respondent wishes to address the petitioner's request for attorney's fees and for these fees to retroactively offset against alimony arrears. The respondent respectfully requests that this court deny the petitioner's motion for attorney's fees. Under Rosen v. Rosen, the court must consider not only the parties' relative financial resources, but also the scope and history of the litigation, including whether one party's actions unnecessarily prolonged or complicated proceedings. Here, the petitioner has willfully failed to comply with prior court-ordered obligations and has initiated this action despite being in contempt of court. As held in Concaris v. Concaris, fee awards are intended to ensure equity between parties, not to reward a party acting in bad faith. The respondent additionally asks this court to strike or dismiss the petitioner's request as nothing more than another improper attempt to evade his obligations to pay long-standing alimony arrears. ... Continue with page 5. And this is just more mess for her. Just because she doesn't understand these cases doesn't mean the judge has to adopt her misinterpretations, because yet again, both of these cases cut against her. She wants to say you must deny attorney's fees because it has to be equitable and you have to look at the whole litigation and to see if one side has been used to frustrate the other. Her arguing Brian is doing that when it is the exact opposite. What prolonged these proceedings? You getting incarcerated and you not accepting the judge's offer after you kept pushing and pushing, saying you wanted to move forward. He said you could. You said no. 8. The respondent expressed frustration at not having matters heard and not being adequately informed about her case. 9. The court explained that the family case is on hold pending the outcome of the respondent's criminal case. 10. The court finds that permanent decisions regarding relocation and alimony should be postponed until the adjudication of the respondent's criminal case, so that circumstances are clearer.
Court sentences you to life in the Department of Corrections.
11. The respondent was informed that she may opt for a final hearing on the petitioner's petition for alimony reduction elimination and her own contempt motion, but that the court would have to consider her current status of incarceration
to life in the Department of Corrections
when making determinations. I don't want to do that. Now, you're going back on that and trying to rewrite history and saying that when Brian filed his motion for continuance, that means he was prolonging the proceedings, even though she was ready to go. No. And to clarify it further, it was her lawyer had just removed himself, and the order asked that lawyer to prepare a formal motion because in the hearing itself, the judge granted his withdrawal, so then asked him to write an order formalizing that withdrawal.
4. Counsel shall provide a more formal proposed order for this removal to be signed by the court within 10 days.
Within like a week or so after that hearing, Brian's counsel filed a motion for continuance because Sarah was officially pro se and had no lawyer and was not able to do so herself. So they had to file the motion for continuance in order to freeze all further proceedings. However, this was only done due to her criminal case that still had not been seen yet. If it had been seen, or if she still had representation, they would have been the one to submit the motion for continuance, and we still would have taken this long because she would have done something else to get rid of. That's like saying we were supposed to fight and I broke my leg, and so you, my opponent, go to the ref and say, hi, we have to prolong this because they broke their leg and they have to heal. And then the person who broke their leg says, hey, they're the one who prolonged the fight. I didn't do anything. They're the one who told the ref. It just doesn't make sense ever. So when you want to talk about did someone elongate the proceedings due to bad behavior, who is the person who has filed frivolous motions, trying to get him held in contempt again and again to where they have to tell you, we can't hold him in contempt for some verbal fake order you want to make up now?
Thank you. After the pre-trial conference, he also was under oath as well and told the court that he made an attempt, and he has not made an attempt. Nonetheless, that was 3 months ago. And you did give them verbally a 2-week deadline. And again,
You're in fear based off past history and what they think of you and how they threaten me all the time. Do you have proof, or is it all verbal? Like, would it be in your phone?
No, it's verbal.
Okay.
It's verbal.
So
verbally, his counsel volunteered to
All right, Ms.
submit the
Boone, I
application.
cannot enforce any verbal statements that were not in an order.
She has sent letter after letter, motion after motion, endless evidence and a paper trail of her continued and sustained harassment. So under Rosen v. Rosen, that allows, both of these cases basically allow the court to have wide and broad discretion to figure out how to best award alimony and adjust things, and not just go by the set standards, because different situations require different circumstances. And that's why Brian also cites Rosen v. Rosen, because it actually is in his favor. She just says, as long as I point in his direction and say it applies to him, what is it, the Darvo thing, the deflect, accuse, reverse victim and offender? It is just, this isn't me, it's him. I have nothing to prove it, and all the evidence points in the exact opposite direction. But I'm going to say it anyway with such confidence that I'm going to put it in this motion. I'm going to handwrite it. I'm going to throw it in your face anytime I can. So under Rosen, it does allow for a broad, unique circumstance of how you want to level it out. So she could award him attorney's fees, even though would he standardly get attorney's fees for this case in particular? Maybe not. But she can do it under the established case law that allows for this broad discretion in order to counterbalance and say that he doesn't owe her shit. Will that happen? Who knows? But if Judge Jackson is taking this long, I can only hope that we're going to see fireworks or something. And she keeps coming back to using the Conacuris. I'm so sorry if this is someone's last name. I have no idea how to say it. Conacuris case, and how she wants to harp on equity. So you have to balance it in fairness and equity. She doesn't realize that equity includes the clean hands doctrine, which she violates in every way, shape, and form, to adopt her phrases.
52. The former wife comes to the court with unclean hands.
Oh,
You nasty.
A prerequisite for receiving equitable relief, including an award of attorney's fees in a family case, is that the requesting party has acted equitably and obeyed court orders. 53. The former wife, however, is in continuing contempt of the final judgment's time-sharing and support provisions. She has not exercised parenting time, not co-parented, and not contributed to the child's needs as required. 54. While her incarceration may excuse physical non-presence, it does not excuse the willful disregard of her parental responsibilities. By committing the crime that led to her imprisonment, the former wife effectively willfully violated the parenting plan's fundamental assumption that she would be a present, law-abiding parent to the child. 55. The court in White v. White noted that a party who has not made a good faith effort to comply with court-ordered obligations, the husband failed to pay alimony and provide insurance, comes to the court with unclean hands
You nasty.
and may be denied relief. 56. Similarly, here, former wife's hands are unclean.
Little nasty.
She has not, quote, done equity toward former husband or the child. Equity should therefore bar her from recovering attorney's fees or any affirmative relief until she has purged her own defaults. 57. It would be fundamentally unfair to reward former wife with fees or to sanction former husband when she herself has flouted significant obligations under the very same final judgment she seeks to enforce.
Yeah, double homicide.
Bitch.
I'm sorry.
That was, she tries to say he has unclean hands, yet he's not the one in prison.
To life in the Department of Corrections.
So, you know. But yes, now that I've read through the missing pages again, which was the exact same thing that we already covered, but I mean, who cares? We all want to rage about it, so we can do it more than once. Next, I'm going to play me reading the closing arguments all the way through, because in the original video, like I said, we included the missing pages, so we got to see exactly what she wanted to submit. But I want to play out what Judge Jackson received and just what that sounds like. And it sounds similar. It might even sound stronger with this missing fake parenting plan than it would have if it were included. So only one way to find out. And then afterwards, I want to cover a few things that were also leaked, released, what have you, and then wrap this up.
Oh, a certificate of service. Okay, so you're mad that Nicole added a certificate of service, but you're going to make sure you add one. And what would have happened if she didn't add a certificate of service? You would have ripped into her saying, oh my goodness, my only resource in Australia. She's so stupid.
Chittering eating bitches.
I didn't even ask her not to do that. It's always something. Maybe this won't affect those two. They don't really care getting aired out like that. But it's just what she does. She blames everyone for everything. She had no other option. Also, let's talk about it. She says, this is my page 4. 1, 2, 3. We'll just do 2.5. So your one page is actually 2.5 pages. But because you had it typed up on that small font, you could fit everything. This is why she said no more than 5 pages.
That includes, Ms. Boone, you need to put it in the mail by next Monday, a written closing argument on the issues we're here on today, okay? So I'm going to give you all until 1 week to provide written closing arguments, no more than 5 pages.
No more than 5 pages?
That is correct.
I don't see a world where the judge actually considers this. I don't even know if the judge is going to consider the first one, given one, who knows when it was actually submitted. She's going to use the fact that she had to send it to Australia and New York as a reasoning for it not getting there on time, but that's still your fault.
If you were going to go through these unnecessary hoops no one told you to go through, then you needed to factor that in. And you needed to finish them even sooner and get it to them even sooner to make sure that they can get it all in time. Trust me, this page is not the make it or break it of her arguments, and it's honestly better that it was excluded. Respondent's written closing argument. Respondent Sarah K. Boone, and in her best representation and efforts, submits her closing arguments in opposition of the petitioner's parenting plan, amended and support orders, and all other requests the petitioner is attempting. Opposition states as follows. To begin, the respondent would like to address the section of alimony and the petitioner's motion for modification of alimony filed April 12, 2022. Respectfully, before this honorable court considers this request, the respondent asks for judicial notice be taken of her pending motion for contempt filed April 11, 2023 against the petitioner, whom has willfully failed to comply with court-ordered alimony obligations by neglecting to pay ordered alimony to the respondent prior to filing this petition to modify. Under Florida law, alimony obligations are court enforceable and cannot be ignored without consequence. Section 6108 Florida statutes governs the award of alimony, and when such an obligation is established, the paying spouse must comply absent modification by the court. Further, Section 6114 Florida statutes explicitly allows for enforcement actions and contempt proceedings when alimony remains unpaid. Florida courts have consistently held that failure to pay court-ordered alimony constitutes grounds for contempt. As these obligations are not optional, they are legally binding. It is important to take note that the former husband, Brian C. Boone, was employed full-time during the entire two years that he did meet the requirements of his court-ordered alimony payments. The petitioner cannot, in good faith, request a downward modification while simultaneously standing in violation of the very court order they now seek to alter. Equity demands that one must come before this court with clean hands, and the petitioner's noncompliance bars them from the relief they request until such arrears are addressed. In the second portion of the petitioner's request, he asks this court to impute income to the respondent for purposes of calculating child support obligations. Respectively, this is improper to do under both Florida law and authority from other jurisdictions. This issue has been addressed in Department of Revenue v. Lamas, where the court held that trial courts cannot impute income to an incarcerated individual absent a showing of the ability to pay. The Llamas decision aligned with persuasive authority such as Lambert v. Lambert, where the Indiana Supreme Court concluded that imputing income to an incarcerated individual is improper because such individuals lack the present ability to earn income. The respondent in this case is serving a life sentence. Sure is. Sure is. There is no evidence of present or future ability to generate income, except didn't you say that you work at the classifications department? Okay. Florida law on child support recognizes that obligations must be based on actual ability to pay, not speculative or non-existent income. To impute income here would not only contradict established law, it would also create an artificial support order that the respondent has no capacity to ever be able to fulfill. With respect to the nature and purpose of child support, it is important to emphasize that child support exists for the best interest of the child, not as a punitive measure against the parent. Section Florida statutes establishes the child support guidelines and sets forth that child support is always designed to meet the needs of the minor child. The Florida Supreme Court has repeatedly underscored that the focus of child support orders must remain on the child's welfare, not on creating financial leverage between parents. The petitioner further requests that if the respondent is awarded any monetary relief, such relief should be retroactively offset against alleged back child support obligations. Respectfully, this position is legally and equitably unsound. To allow such an offset would defeat the entire purpose of child support. Child support is a vested right belonging to the child, not the parent, and Florida courts have long held that these rights cannot be waived, bargained away, or retroactively manipulated to serve the financial interest of one parent over the child. Your Honor, even if this court were to accept the petitioner's request to impute income to the respondent and allow any relief owed to her to be offset against alleged arrears, the outcome would still provide no monetary support to the minor child. Instead of benefiting the child as Florida law requires, the result would simply, quote, call it even, erasing the petitioner's arrears while simultaneously depriving the respondent of funds she is legally entitled to receive. In effect, this approach would punish her for the petitioner's past noncompliance and reward the petitioner by relieving him of obligations already legally established under Florida law. The controlling principle is clear. Child support exists for the benefit of the child, not as a financial tool for either parent. To permit such an offset would shift the focus away from the child's welfare and toward the petitioner's personal gain, undermining both the purpose of child support and the equitable enforcement of court orders. For these reasons, the respondent respectfully requests that this honorable court deny the petitioner's motion for modification of alimony, deny the request to impute income, and deny this request to retroactively offset any potential relief against alleged child support obligations. Petitioner's parenting plan suggests the respondent in opposition requests the following. Respondent does not agree with the petitioner's amended parenting plan due to it not being in the best interests of the child. The respondent is avidly seeking to be included in her son's life in every aspect possible and in accordance with Florida law. Respondent should not automatically have her inclusion as a parent to continue to raise, contact, and participate in his life removed, deterred, or reduced due to incarceration. Location differences do not suffice exclusion, nor does one unfortunate event define her as a human being and mother to her son. Respondent does not agree with the petitioner's amended parenting plan due to it not being in the best interest of the child. Wait, is this a repeat? You just said this. Due to it not being in the best interest of mother, son. Yeah, you just repeated this. Okay. Hunter v. Hunter states the court ruled that shared parental responsibility must be honored unless proven harmful to the child. The respondent is emphatically asking for this responsibility to utilize in her greatest capacities currently available, regardless of location differences, which she can fully be successful in and continue to enrich her son's life even more, ceaselessly upholding his rights as a child even while at DOC, and in which he avidly invites and welcomes every day she is in communication with him. Florida Statute 6113 affirms both parents have equal rights to participate in their child's life unless clear and convincing evidence proves harmful to the child. The primary reason for the request for a guardian ad litem the respondent was repeatedly denied to emphatically prove there is no such evidence. The child also could have reaffirmed his praise for their relationship, which he knows will grow to another positive level once applications for his visitation are finally received, where both mother and son can be reunited in person. For major decisions in the child's life, the respondent should be included in his growth as a young adult, which can help shape him into being even greater, more open-minded, loving, and successful. In Lamb v. Lamb, both parents must be consulted on major decisions unless an emergency arises. The respondent's mind, heart, soul, and overall being which lives for her son still computes love, understanding, compassion, knowledge, wisdom, goodness to provide to her son's life, no matter where she is. She desperately wants to be included and has not been since her incarceration, where withholding of such redeeming qualities to their son from the respondent have been due to the petitioner's ongoing decisions to alienate her between parties, not to reward a party acting in bad faith. The respondent additionally asks this court to strike or dismiss the petitioner's request as nothing more than another improper attempt to evade his obligation to paying long-standing alimony arrears. Furthermore, the petitioner has alleged that the respondent is the party who has, quote, caused chaos and delayed these proceedings. Respectfully, this assertion is contradicted by the record. On April 18, 2023, it is the petitioner himself who filed a motion for continuance despite the fact that the respondent was prepared to have all pending motions heard more than 2.5 years ago. The respondent firmly rejects the petitioner's baseless allegations that she is the cause of her delay. Moreover, the choice to retain private counsel is just that, a choice. This is a civil matter, and no party is compelled to hire an attorney. Thus, the petitioner's voluntary decision to incur legal fees should not be shifted onto the respondent, particularly when he is already delinquent in meeting his court-ordered support obligations. To award fees in this context would effectively reward the petitioner for non-compliance and penalize the respondent, an outcome that is wholly inconsistent with principles of equity and fairness under Florida law. The respondent wishes to remind the court that the petitioner alleges to have paid for a storage unit for 2 years, but has failed to provide any evidence of this. Therefore, his request to have this deducted from any monetary relief I may be awarded should be dismissed. For all foregoing reasons, the respondent, Sarah K. Boone, respectfully requests this court find the petitioner in civil contempt for violating the court-ordered payments he was ordered to pay while he was employed, and order the petition to pay $26,000 in alimony and $2,314 in interest payable under Florida law. B. Deny the petitioner's request that he, quote, calls even, that imputes an income to the respondent for child support. C. Deny the petitioner's proposed parenting plan and grant the respondent's in place of. Respectfully submitted on this 2nd day of September 2025, and in all gratitude of this honorable court's patience, Sarah K. Boone, pro se respondent. Okay. So that's what the judge heard. Pretty much gives the exact same vibe. She just repeated herself again and again. Her main points boiled down to, he's in contempt, punish him. He's being mean to me. Force him to make my son love me. And give me money, give me money, give me money.
Send me money, send me money, send me money.
She never went below surface level on any of this. Brian explained he hasn't paid, he shouldn't paid for all of these reasons, and the reasoning behind those reasons, as in the impact of taking those resources out of the home when he is the sole provider, and how she cannot take care or fulfill her responsibilities because she got herself incarcerated. Meanwhile, on her end, she just said a million different ways he didn't pay me. Got it. No one's combating that. Everyone is on the same page that he has paid you dust and no mind.
Hide the money, y'all. There's poor people around. With your broke ass.
You needed to say, on top of that, the reasons why that is bad and so impactful are X, Y, and Z. And this is why I need this alimony, because it covers all these expenses. And he has depleted me of everything because he has taken this alimony away. But then Brian's side comes back and says, you get fed every single day, right? Cool. You get clothed? right? Okay. Water, electricity, place to sleep. Nice.
The first question I had for you is, have these expenses changed dramatically since you started your incarceration in February of 2020?
They haven't changed because they've never started.
Hold on, pause this shit. What the fuck is going on in here on this day?
Not actually incurred any of these expenses that you've listed on your financial affidavit, is that correct? The facility that you're incarcerated in, does it provide you meals for free?
It does.
Okay. Does it provide you breakfast, lunch, and dinner for free?
Yes.
Does it provide you things to drink for free?
Water, yes.
Okay. So when you indicate here that you have a estimated food expense as of May of 2025 of $250, what is that for?
That is for my low blood sugar, which the petitioner is aware that I have ongoing and need to maintain my blood sugar. My grandfather died of diabetes, and I have to maintain that with snacks,
Security.
and in between meals.
Heavy.
Some of the meals are, of course, unappetizing, and my stomach is not able to handle them properly, so I either do without or would fall back on something that I could order or purchase from canteen.
And then you have here other hygiene and writing items. Does the prison provide you with basic hygiene items?
No. The prison only supplies I believe, 1.5 ounce all-in-one shampoo and body wash, toothbrush, and toothpaste.
Okay, those would be considered hygiene items, correct?
Oh. Yes.
Okay. And you have here a $50 charge for creditor Department of Corrections. Are you indicating that you owe the Department of Corrections money?
These are all estimates. And you need to please remember that I am new to DLC and don't understand, but I do know this was just an estimate. I'm not even sure how they go by what they do, but this was what I was told to do from one of the classifications officers.
Then you don't need the $1,000 a month. And your comeback is, I could be getting more, like you said in the phone call. I could be living comfortably in here.
Like, this whole thing with and not paying me alimony, and I want you to know, like, it's like I'm in this fabulous dorm and everything, but I just have nothing in my drawer but rust and the old newspapers that the previous girl left. And if be paying me something, or at least, just something, I would have something in my drawer, and it's just like out of $61,000, I'm supposed to settle for what he's trying to throw at me or nothing? Like, I could have been living comfortably.
That is not good enough of an argument to justify taking $61,000 away from your son. And she complained in the phone call, as well as apparently Brian originally offered her $6,000 of the $61,000, which hilarious work. But it would have been better than nothing. And Peter said on the phone call, well, after this trial, you could get nothing. And she says, whatever, am I supposed to just accept $6,000 out of $61,000? How couldn't you not give me any of this at that?
Sometimes I'll start a sentence, and I don't even know where it's going. I just hope I find it along the way.
And I'm not trying to persuade you one way or the other. I'm just being your friend and telling you kind of what I think. I would be concerned that you could go through this trial and you could walk away with nothing. So.
And they're trying to throw me out of $61,000, $6,000. $6,000 out of $61,000.
do you know that number?
Because it's in the amended supplicated whatever it is.
What do you think you would settle for?
I don't. I know he's a piece of shit, and he's bitter, and he's angry, and he's sad that he has to live an adult male life now. But I don't know. I don't even know. He never even would try to explain to me the $6,000 and the number that it came up from that.
And now she's going to lose all of it and blame everyone else. But in this phone call, you are hearing she was warned, well, multiple times outside of just this phone call, but she said, I will never surrender no matter what. And then gets offended saying, you're trying to make me surrender. This is what you're doing.
Okay, so he said 6,000. So if you went back and said, no, I want 12,000 or 20,000, right? And I know that's, I'm just throwing that number out there. Let's just say you said, yes, I would take 20,000 to not have to deal with this and have definitive security for the foreseeable future till I can get out of here, right? I mean, I don't see how it could hurt by just sending him a note, and I could also send it to his attorney saying, hey, look, we're asking,
It's still the same thing. It's still the same thing. What you're trying to do is you're trying to get me to surrender. And
I'm not trying to get you to surrender. I'm just saying, it doesn't hurt you to ask for what you would.
That's what mediation is for, and that's what I was trying to do. So
right, but they're not giving you mediation. So all I'm suggesting is, do you need a mediator? You don't need a mediator to send him a letter and just say, hey, look, I don't want to go through this. You shouldn't have to go through it either. Because it's been through enough. We've been through enough. Save your money on the lawyers, and this is what I'm willing to settle for. But if you don't want to do it, that's
okay.
Just
hold on one second. I know, and I'm being respectful of what you're telling me. I understand. It's constructive criticism, and my ears are open. If he throws his crumbs and his peanuts at me, ain't gonna make nothing different.
Pause. Because if you're like me, you thought you heard something else, and it was, if he throws his crumbs and peanuts at me, it ain't gonna make no difference. Still trashy saying, but had to say that because I know I am not the only one.
I was just saying that as a way to kind of say, how would you approach them? And that would be the way to approach them, is to say, the way I would put it is that money and time that we'd be spending on a trial should be going toward our son.
You do realize that his parents have furnished fully this entire everything, including his attorney, right?
You hear that, Peter? That means she does not agree. She does not agree that the money that has been spent and going towards this trial and going for all of this superfluous nonsense would be better spent on their son. She doesn't agree. That's why her response was ... You realize his parents are paying for everything, meaning because his parents are spending their money, he should be giving me his money. But yeah, getting mad and blaming him, saying you're just trying to make me surrender just like everyone else, as if you're coming from some moral high ground. No, the world already thinks you're a vicious murderer with zero remorse for your actions. And you said, I will not surrender. I will not budge from who I am whatsoever.
Have you thought about sending him a letter and him and his attorney and saying, hey,
I'm not doing that. I'm not surrendering ever.
Okay.
It's still the same thing. It's still the same thing. What you're trying to do is you're trying to get me to surrender.
It just feeds into it. You just prove exactly who you are each and every time. Okay. Next, I wanted to briefly cover some things that she filed that happened while I was still making this video. And then even more things came out, like she wrote another motion that I'm probably not going to read that motion, but I don't know. So here is the motion where she asked Koenig, hey, where's my lawyer? And then Koenig's response was, oh, you conflicted out every other lawyer that could possibly represent you in the public defender's office and regional counsel and this and that. So they had to hire another person.
Comes now appellant Sarah Boone and files her notice of inquiry with both the 6th District Court of Appeal and Orange County Clerk of Court, stating the following in support of: 1.
After appellant's first court-appointed appellant attorney, Alan Holland, December 2nd, 2024 to February 18th, 2025, was granted his motion to withdraw, Joshua E. Adams was appointed by the court to represent her and submit the initial brief in and for her criminal appeal. 2. During Mr. Adams' time frame of 7 months, February 18th, 2025 to September 5th, 2025, in his representation of Miss Boone, which includes filing two extensions to continue doing so, he made the decision to withdraw without submitting her initial brief, citing he is no longer practicing appellate work or accepting court-appointed appellate cases. 3. Joshua E. Adams corresponded with appellant in one public access tablet message on February 27, 2025, briefly introducing himself with no follow-up or continued contact to present date. 4. As of the date of this filing, appellant has no understanding of whom her present appellant attorney is, the current status of her appeal, nor the preparation of her initial brief as a result of no communication or inclusion from any party, including both the 6th District Court of Appeal and or the Orange County Clerk of Court. Wherefore, appellant Sarah Boone respectfully files this notice of inquiry to request pertinent information regarding the updated name, contact phone, and address of the successor court-appointed counsel to represent her and the status of her appeal, including the filing of the initial brief in this manner. Submitted this 27th day of October, 2025. Sarah Boone, Certificate of Service, blah, blah, blah. Amended order appointing counsel. The court, upon reviewing the court file in the instant case, hereby finds as follows. 1. The court appointed David Monaldo, J.D., to represent the defendant appellate Sarah Boone in this case for purposes of her appeal September 12, 2025. 2. A certified conflict arose that would prevent the regional counsel's office from representing the appellant pursuant to Section 27.40 of the Florida statutes. 3. As a result of the conflict, it was necessary to appoint private counsel for the appellant. Wherefore, it is ordered as follows. A. The court's prior order appointing counsel dated September 12, 2025 is amended to reflect that a certified conflict arose that would have prevented the regional counsel's office from representing the appellant in the case, and therefore necessitated the appointment of David Maldonado, J.D., as counsel for the appellant. B. This court reserves jurisdiction for the entry of such future orders as may be necessary. Done and ordered at the Orange County Courthouse, Orlando, Florida, this 4th day of November, 2025. The Honorable Michael Kranick. Which just feels like divine karma, because the way she treated her past lawyers, and now she's just cycling through lawyers, not even because of her own fault. Well, that's not true. No, that's not true. Every time she ruined a relationship with one of these lawyers, she also conflicted their practices. So any law firms they're a part of, now no one in that office can represent her because of the conflict of interest. And that's why the public defender's office couldn't represent her initially, because of the people who had to represent George all the times that she called and got him arrested for nothing. Or maybe not nothing, but for things that she should have gotten arrested for as well, if police were going to be involved. So they had to appoint from private counsel. And you burn bridge after bridge after bridge after bridge. And with every single one, your options for a free lawyer get smaller and smaller. So they are literally scraping the bottom of the barrel. Is there anyone not already tainted by this woman? Okay, let's try again. And then even after sending that, she wrote another letter directly to the appellate court. I'm not going to read that. I didn't, so it's whatever. It's saying basically the exact same thing of no one's updating me. People need to tell me where we're at, and I want to be signed up for the certificate of service. It was her motion to make sure that she could get future certificate of service. And then she also submitted this motion 2 days ago. Motion for defendant appellant Sarah Boone to be included in and added to the certificate of service by all parties to receive important information regarding her appeal and the process of. So now she cares about certificate of services. It's like a full circle. Which is full circle irony when the start of this video covering the missing page is her airing Nicole out for including a certificate of service and taking things out for doing so. For whatever reason, and without my instruction or permission, the sender took it upon themselves to remove one of my pages to make for a certificate of service. And now she's sending a motion to the appellate court being like, I need to make sure I'm on every certificate of service. Which today, as I am finishing it right now, the appellate court actually responded to that and basically swerved on her, because they responded saying, now that she is officially represented by whoever this other person is, they will be getting all of your paperwork. They will be getting the certificate of services. So we are going to nullify that entire motion. We're not going to entertain it. You are no longer pro se. These letters stop here. Oh, and she's going to be so mad. She's going to be so mad because she no longer has an outlet to throw out her letters and berate her. I'm sure her next step is going to be a flying monkey setting up a blog or something where she can release her letters. I don't know, because she can't stand not being heard. So she's going to make sure that she's heard one way or another. And with all of that at the way, we can go to Peter's message. Actually, no, pause real quick. Before we go to Peter's message, we need to bring up Lana, because this also got released with this whole jumble of, I don't even know what you want to call them, but these receipts that just got leaked out there. They're on Reddit. I saw many of them on Hear Me Out's channel, etc. But it was messages of the day she found out that Lana died. And it was this Julian person who said, FYI, Lana passed away yesterday. On May 11th, 2025, from Julian. FYI, Lana died yesterday. FYI, Lana died yesterday. And Sarah had the audacity to respond in just the cruelest and most emotionless way possible. Sarah's response: morning, everywhere online? It's just Lana. You haven't checked the end-all be-all Second Coming of Christ's social media expert's website? Is anyone available to let me know what has not been done? Please, for my effing family law case? Please, I have 15 days left. I know, too, everyone has their real-world lives. I do, which I'd like to one day have also, please. And I don't want to seem emotionless, but if you could please tell me what I need to do and worry about on top of everything else in, quote, preparation of everything meaningful in my life to be taken away from me in 2 weeks, please. I'm just sitting here with perpetual question marks guessing my demise for the day, week, month, year, and counting. Please, then I'll leave everyone alone and figure out what I can. Is a call at all possible sometime today? 30 minutes, please? Sorry for the over it attitude. I am, and I'm sure you both are also. No matter, I'm thankful for you. I pray everyone is hanging on and getting through it, whatever it may be. At least we have each other. Thank you. And you just think it can't get worse for the person who love bombed Lana constantly. I really want to hug you. One day, I trust you with every fiber of my being. And if God didn't mean for you and me to be friends, he wouldn't have put us in each other's path, right? You are his disciple and diligent and honorable in innumerable ways. And clout is such a good word, smarty. Piss me off, push me, lift me up, hug me hard. Gonna love you lots always. Constructive criticism all day. You underestimate your worth to me. Thank you does not suffice. In the meantime, I will use you like God meant for me to. I will use you like God meant for me to. Said they're the best friends. She's your sister. You are always going to love and support her no matter what. She can tell you anything and she's always going to support you. 5 seconds later, you talk to someone she doesn't like. She completely rips into you and cuts you off. Stop trying so hard to get the grimy followers to like you with all your comments and, quote, insight about me. It's embarrassing. Maybe you can give grimy new bestie Tanika pointers. It's sad, Lana, you've stooped so low and ended up this way. And all the world sees I've stopped communicating with you. You're a traitor. Add that comment when someone asks you why. And I never asked you for a dime. You added money to my county account in hopes I'd be your new friend like Tanika is now. How much did you give her? So sad you're a liar too, just like the rest of them, conformist. And even after she, quote, bashed you on live. Are you that desperate? No matter to me. I am formally demanding you cease and desist discussing anything about me, my son, my cases, my life with your YouTuber Tanika. Stop talking about me as a whole and every way. You're rotten, Lana. Cut and paste this message to all your grimies. Queen Grime herself. Shame on you. I mean, if anything, it does look good that Lana opened her eyes towards the end and realized that all this lovey-dovey, you're amazing, you're my best friend forever, was just love bombing BS. And this is the person you were talking to the entire time. Even Linda thought that was harsh. And then she literally hears you die or have passed away and couldn't care less. Focuses right back on her. And it's exactly what we looked at earlier with you're at the crime scene and the first thing you mention is I'm afraid for my life. And this gives the exact same vibe.
But yeah, they're gonna know what we're here, what we're investigating, and that they're gonna think I killed him.
Why would they think that?
They always have said that. They've always have said that.
What have they
I
said?
told you it's because I'm the blue-eyed white dragon. That's what they call me. I'm not going to be here.
Okay.
They're going to kill me.
Okay.
I'm just really scared. Like,
Well, we're
you don't
here,
know
so
anything though, like why or how? I'm like really scared. I want you guys to know that.
Look around. You have all these deputies here, so while we're here, nothing's going to happen to you. Before we go and make any notifications, you'll have plenty of time to leave or do what you need to do.
And it's almost bone chilling. And this is when we get into those antisocial traits. We say she hits pretty much every personality disorder in the cluster B category. And this is when she hits those antisocial personality disorder traits. No empathy whatsoever. Centers right back on herself. And she says, I don't want to be emotionless, while she says one of the most heartless things imaginable. That's not saying that people with antisocial personality disorder are heartless. It just means there's that distance, that gap in emotional capacity. And within that gap, hers is just filled with spite and rage. Now, the final thing I want to look at is Peter's basically breakup message. This is what I saw on Reddit, and it was apparently the last thing he sent to Sarah on September 18th. So not that long ago. And it was right before her closing arguments got uploaded. So we know by the time they got uploaded, that relationship had severed. And this isn't one of those, oh, I'm mad, it's a fight, I'm coming back. No, he went scorched earth, and I'm here for it. Sent on September 18th, 2025. Sarah, this is my final message to you. We started this with the best intentions, to give you a voice and to make sure you weren't left without representation. From the beginning, we never believed your innocence, but we gave you the benefit of the doubt. That courtesy has run out. You are a murderer. You planned this. You locked someone in a suitcase, listened to him beg for his life, and did nothing. Then you tried to cover it up with a childish lie. You threw him down a flight of stairs, you beat him with a baseball bat and mocked him as he pleaded for his life. And this was all a plan. You wrote to George's brother that, quote, hide and seek you shall, well before this murder ever took place. The emails, the story, the timeline, it all exposes you. The world isn't stupid, Sarah. You are. If you need proof, just look at the simple fact that you could be out of jail by now if you took responsibility, showed remorse, and took a plea deal. But the demon that is inside of you wouldn't allow it. You've shown no remorse, no apology, no regret. You are dangerous. You should never see freedom again. Your son is better off without you in his life. And if you cared about him, Sarah, you'd put him first instead of dragging him through the shadow of your crimes. I am ashamed I ever invested this much in you. I thought if I gave you trust, you might tell the truth. I hoped there was a human being worth saving underneath the narcissism. But there isn't. You had moments where I thought I saw something good. What a pathetic waste that turned out to be. Here's the reality. You are a monster, the kind people fear is hiding under the bed. There is no redemption for you in this life without brutal honesty. Tell the truth. Explain what you did and why. Admit it to the world and to yourself. Without that, you will die exactly as you lived, selfish, manipulative, and empty. You say you have found God, but know this. So long as you live with that lie in your heart, you are only praying to the devil. I don't expect you to surprise me. Monsters don't change. But for your son's sake, for whatever shred of decency you once had, I hope you prove me wrong. Peter.
Okay, Peter cleared with that one. I didn't really hear much about him beforehand, so I don't know if he was into some shady business or nonsense or whatnot. Hopefully he's not one of the ones who were harassing Brian and the son directly. If he was not one of those ones, and which is just holding out hope of that, then good for you for opening your eyes. Whenever it happened, it happened. You wasted a lot of time, of money, nerves, stress, probably some gray hairs dealing with that. But we all gained some life experience from that and got some nice content for it. But yeah, when I read that, I fell out in guffaw because that was just beautiful. Someone who was close to her needed to say those words because she didn't want to hear it. She still doesn't want to hear it. And we're going to look at her response in just a few seconds. And I saw this in some of the comments, and it's true. You can tell in her response, it really hit her a little bit to the core because she avoids everything that he brought up. He brings up how this was a plan, how you show no remorse, how you do this, how you do that. You're not supposed to be in your son's life, this and that. And her response is just like this kind of, you can't break up with me, I break up with you.
Thank you for your reply stamp to say how very sorry and saddened I am. You are obviously more miserable than I thought for you to say all in your message to me. I'm glad I kept my reservations about you with failed businesses and incarceration yourselves. Let's ask this. Who's really in prison, Peter? Stop whining and try to be your best self no matter where you are. I do, and smile with joy in my heart, blessed by God Himself with strength to overcome unpleasant people such as you just displayed with your unkind words. What comes out of your mouth comes from your heart. Remember that so you don't get so upset from any of your other, quote, victims you're trying to manipulate and falling for your delirium and untrue experience, hoping they're not as smart as I am to see your now proven wolf eyes behind the sheep's mask. I will pray for them too. I hope somewhere in someone you're sending all your lures out to bites and makes you big, redeeming yourself in your failures and obvious dysfunctions. I'm just glad my prayers have been answered and I can permanently distance myself from you, your trouble and danger. If you play with dogs, you're going to catch fleas. Focus on God, not your failures. I am proud of myself to say I lived through George Torres, his family, the justice system, so much more, and now Peter, Julian, Delpine Creatives. Again, I am my own best advocate and will never conform, staying true to who I am. I really hope everything works out for you all. I'm better without Delphine Creative, or whoever you are. God's got me and my son. Cheer up, smiley face. I hope your day gets better. Sarah Boone. Strength and honor are her clothing. She shall rejoice in time to come. Proverbs 35:25. People who know their God shall be strong and carry out great exploits. Daniel 11:32. Do not rejoice over me, my enemy. When I fall, I will arise. When I sit in darkness, the Lord will be a light to me. Micah 7:8. All right.
Of course, she had to throw in a few Bible verses at the end because how can she take moral superiority if she doesn't do that? which also made me laugh in the phone calls. She's complaining and saying the girls are so mean to her, yada, 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 and that they pick on her saying, look at her in her Bible, Bible, Bible.
You don't understand. Like, I've been typing and crying at the same time just because of, like, how mean these girls still are to me. And it's just, I just can't even begin to tell you. And it's just, you know, I don't even get off my bunk unless it's to make a phone call to you or to go to the bathroom, and I go right back to my bed. And it's just how just cruel they are. And I sit on my bed and I'm working on this, and nasty people, and I was reading my Bible, and this group of girls that are next to me that are on the top bunk also, you know, I have to act like I'm ignoring them, talk about, oh, that she thinks she's high and mighty, and she reads her Bible, and then this, and then that, and then this, and this is why she's here, and all this other mess and everything, while she reads her Bible, 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 and just, they don't stop. And then the one girl next to me who keeps calling me a dumb bitch because I asked her to not swing from my bed to get off of her bed, I said, it's just a disruption. The whole bed shakes, and I've had to rewrite things. I can't concentrate on this motion that I'm writing and everything. I'm a nonstop dumb bitch. Oh no, I had asked one of the mean girls, believe me, listen, this is me being humble. I asked one of the mean girls, I said, what is it that I'm doing wrong? And she goes, you're fresh meat. We're going to tear you apart, and then walked off.
Now that is an icon and a diva. And I will definitely make sure dive more into that call in the next video. Well, maybe not the next video, but in the future. And she thinks they're picking on her for her faith. It's like, no, they're hounding you because you do stuff like this. There is no way, and you will never get me to believe, that you don't try to cite Bible verses to win arguments in front of people, because you do it in all the text messages, all of this, all of that. It's a mess. And it falls flat every time because it just shows that it's disingenuous and it's only used for your benefit. But yeah, she tried to turn it back on him saying, I'm so glad God answered my prayers and took you out of my life. Girl, you are the one who called him nonstop. He is the one who did not answer your phone calls. There's no way for him to contact you smoothly. He had to sit there and wait for you to contact him. You were the one. She makes it sound like they were inserting themselves into her life, and they were to some degree, but not to the point where they were forcing her to contact them. If she didn't want to talk to him at any moment in time, she didn't have to. But no, she wanted to use all the resources she possibly could. She wanted to blame them when she could blame them, have them emotionally regulate her, take their money and resources, wring them dry, and then throw them in the garbage like she did everyone else. The things that she said to Lana before they fell out always felt fake. And if you go and look in the text message videos that we cover with hers, I think it was volume 3 or volume 4. And it's just never ending love bombing of how she's the best, most amazing person ever. And within a matter of months, she means nothing to you, to the point where you basically spit on her grave too. I get it. She's been surrounded by death her whole life, and that has made her more apathetic to it, I guess. But it is strange how she feels nothing when people die. But the idea of her freedoms being taken away, she loses her mind. And on that note, if I don't wrap this up, I'm going to lose my mind as well. This video has been a challenge. Probably the longest video it took me to make. Well, no, that's not true. The 11-hour video was. But mentally wise, I don't know what it is. Creative block is a crazy thing. But this video could have been, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes going over that first page and her other missing pages. But then all this other stuff came out, and I didn't want y'all to wait for a whole full video. So I wanted to put some of that in here. And, you know, we just got this video. I don't even know what you call it. It started as one thing and it ended as another. But thank you for joining me on this ride. I had a good time going through those phone calls. Every time I think that she can't surprise me, she does it even more. Speaking of surprise, I want to say thank you And I tried to look for your contact info, but I couldn't find it. So this is the only way I know how to do it. But thank you to the very generous donator, the initials T.S. Thank you to T.S. You'll know who you are, hopefully, for your incredible donation. I opened my PayPal the other day and like shooketh. Never expect any donations. They're always appreciated, but I wanted to thank you publicly since I can't find your contact information, and I really, really, really wanted to thank you. Anyway, after this is uploaded, I'm going to take a quick little break, but then I'm going to dive into these phone calls because the full-length calls are even more insane than the little sections that I brought out in this video. And we're going to get into it all. So, be on the lookout for that one. And if you enjoyed this video, remember to like, comment, subscribe, dislike if you're feeling it. Until next time.